Fuck a Subway ad. I got shit to talk about. Braden, play that Sweet Suave.
This the Palm Beach County anthem. All my Palm Beach County niggas, y'all put them fucking guns in there and bust them shit. Bitch, I'm from Palm Beach County, this where I'm from. Where niggas get gunned down and left slung from. Guns just for fucking round. This ain't a county for you bitches to come around.
What up, and welcome to the unofficial podcast of the National Football League, the world-famous and critically acclaimed 5-6 Kings podcast. I'm David Breen. With me, as always, my dear friend and co-host, Braden Bullard. Braden, how are you, man?
What up? I'm doing pretty good, David. No, I was sick, guys, last week, but I'm better.
And most likely COVID.
Yeah, I mean,
I thought he was going to die. I was ready for this to be the David Breen show with host David Breen.
I was ready too. I was like, you know what? Let's just die. Wow, I don't know. Let's just die. Let's just
call it.
Yeah, let's meet the afterlife, and just see what's really going on. Actually, I read a story, and basically the premise of the story was that once when you die, then you learn the secret, and that was like what a parent was teaching a child to be basically optimistic about the afterlife. So that was me. I was just like, let's fucking go.
I mean, that's not the case though.
Yeah, but
you
now
die, you just rot in the ground.
It's just nothing.
Or you just have your flesh and bones burned, and then your ashes get scattered somewhere. I
was hyped for it though.
Or you do like a Roger Maris, Walt Disney situation. Was it Roger Maris, Mickey Mantle? Some old school Yankee player. Joe DiMaggio? Was it Joe DiMaggio? There was some Yankee legend. He froze himself.
He froze himself?
Yeah. After he died. So it was his son. The whole family was like, no, he wanted to do this with his body after he died. And his son was like, we're going to freeze him. And then maybe he gets woken back up one day.
Maybe because of technology, we'll be able to replace the consciousness back in the body or something.
And the family fought, and they went to court, and then the son wanted to freeze one.
And the court's like, yeah.
They're like, yeah, just makes sense. They're like, are you telling us Roger Maris hit 61 home runs in a season? They're like, you telling us you don't want to see what he can do down the road?
Right?
A fucking rejuvenated Roger Maris? That's dangerous for the rest of the major league.
Captain
Let's
America
get him
style?
out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't even know how we got on that. But
I have no
that's
idea.
An option. No, that's an option. That lady talking about, you get the secret. No, you don't get shit after you die.
Yeah.
All right? Just heaven and hell aren't real. You don't get shit after you die.
Oh, David, you can't
You're
say
just
that.
Dead. Oh, don't say that. You could go to hell. There we go. That's it.
Yep.
That's good South Park reference.
Yep. How are you doing, though, David?
I was doing good up until this morning.
Oh, I bet.
So, I'll do the quicker one first, the one that Braden just gave me.
Jesus.
Apparently, they want to change the 561 area code to the 728 area code. And let me tell you something. Over my dead body.
Blasphemy. Over my
dead body is the greatest county in the history of the United States. Gonna have their fucking 561 is the perfect area code.
Oh, it is. It is the perfect.
561 created the 5-6 Kings. Bitch, I'm from Palm Beach County. That's where I'm from.
One stays in the head.
If you think you're gonna make this some 728 shit, you got another thing coming.
You do?
And if you think President DeSantis in a couple years is gonna let that happen, you got another thing coming.
Oh, you got another thing coming.
President DeSantis ain't letting that shit happen.
Oh no! You fucking you pieces of shit trying to take everything that we work for.
So get ready, Palm Beach County. Whoever makes this decision, I have no idea, but we're going to say it's the Chamber of Commerce.
Yep.
I doubt it's them, but that's who we're putting this on.
It's probably a little lower, but
Palm Beach County Chamber of Commerce. If you try to make this happen, just watch what happens to Domino's.
Yeah.
Watch what we do to Domino's and then decide if you really want to go down this route. Because here on the 5-6 Kings, one stay in the head. We don't even play.
Yeah.
We don't even play. For all you bitch-ass N-words, something. One stay in the head.
I mean, can you imagine? All we got to do is call Suave.
Dude, one phone call to Suave, and he shuts this shit down. Shuts it down real quick.
All the streets,
Mayhem.
mayhem.
It is bedlam
Yeah,
in Palm Beach County if we let this happen.
yeah. So I'm fucking. That's all. I just want to make noises, just animal noises.
There we go.
That's how I feel.
And then, another news. So, Brandon, I don't know how long I'm going to talk about this. I don't know how weird it's going to get. If you guys don't want to listen to a weird, disgruntled Dolphins fan talk, I'll just keep hitting the 30-second fast-forward button until you hear us talking about something other than the Dolphins, because it's going to be for a little bit, I think. Mm-hmm. Dolphins fired Brian Flores this morning in a baffling move, if I do say so. So let's just go the history of Brian Flores. Has it been perfect? Absolutely not. Has he been able to hire and maintain a competent offensive coaching staff? Absolutely not. That has been a huge issue there. They haven't made the playoffs, but when Brian Flores came here, if you thought they were going to make the playoffs in the first 3 years, you're out of your fucking mind. He came in 2019, and they completely tore this team down to the studs. To the point, I feel confident in saying they fielded the worst roster in NFL history to start the 2019 season. Dominique Foxworth went on ESPN and said what the Miami Dolphins are doing is wrong and it's morally reprehensible. Oh. That's how bad the roster was. And Brian Flores coached that team to be better than 4 other teams that year. Coached by far the worst roster in the league to 5 wins. And then the following year, people were saying, oh, it's going to be like a 7, maybe 8-win team. They went 10-6. Missed the playoffs. First time in NFL history that the 9th best team in the AFC did the 9th best record, and they were 10-6. That doesn't happen. First time in NFL history, or 8th best, not 9th. First time in history that's ever happened. Missed the playoffs by a game, whatever. This year started off very slow, 1-7, looked awful. It was like, oh man, and they don't own their first round pick. So it was, oh wow, they're giving the Eagles like a top 5 pick. Back half of the year, they go 8-1 in their last 9 games. I don't think there's another coach in the NFL that coaches this team from 1-7 for them to finish the season at 9-8. I don't think that person exists. First time in 20 years, the Dolphins have had back-to-back winning seasons. And they fired the guy after 3 years. And they keep Chris Greer, the general manager, which is an odd move. So like I went through. Chris Greer's been doing their draft since 2016, and he's at about 50% on his draft, which is what you hope for in the NFL. You're not going to hit on it. It's a fucking crapshoot more often than not in the NFL draft. 50%. He's done a fine job, but like that makes it so much harder to go get a head coach. People are saying Jim Harbaugh. Stephen Ross isn't getting Jim Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh is the coach at the University of Michigan, which is Stephen Ross's alma mater, where Stephen Ross is their biggest booster and has donated $500 million to that university over the years. He is not going to then go take their head coach from them. And he's like, no, I want him to come coach my team. He's not going to do that. He's going to try to keep Harbaugh at Michigan because he's a big booster and wants to see the team do well. So, like, we'll see what happens. I'm a Dolphins fan. I always want to be optimistic. And it's weird. I wanted to text Hoff this morning and be like, hey, maybe one day this week, let's do the 5. Remember when we started the 5-6 King Sports?
Oh, yeah.
Remember when that we own that podcast name? I was going to be like, hey, do you want to do an episode where we go over what we think the Dolphins should do in the offseason? And I even started like a little, I started 2 mock things. I was like, I'm going to do one where Tua is the quarterback, one where Deshaun Watson's the quarterback. I didn't get far in either of those things. But both of my mock off seasons involved Brian Flores being the head coach. So I got no idea.
Yeah.
I got no idea. See what they do. If they go and just hire a coordinator from somewhere, this is a terrible move. It's a terrible, and I think it sets them back. I really do. If they go, because they have a defense that is ready to win right now. Their offense is who the fuck knows with Tua. Jalen Waddle is real good. Robert Hunt, their right guard, is real good. Other than that, there's no one on the offense that I'll look at and say, oh, he'll definitely be back next year and definitely be starting. Defense is very good. If they can go out and get someone, I can't even think of a name off the top of my head, like a Sean Payton, but I don't think that's realistic. If they can go out and get someone with head coaching experience, which is successful head coaching experience, then we'll see. I think they have a good enough roster to where if they add a few pieces, they can be really dangerous in the near future. But a lot hinges on who they get to replace Flores, because Flores, best coach they've had in a very long time.
So I'm curious, when it comes to money, how much are the coaches getting paid? And if, obviously that's probably different for each coach, but would it make a difference if they were paying maybe a less expensive coach and then were able to turn some of that money towards players more?
So there's a salary cap with the players.
Okay.
So and they have the most cap space in the NFL heading into the offseason. But the NFL, the way it works is that's why the NFL is the most competitive league in professional sports, because they have like a pretty strict salary cap that's, hey, you can't really go over this.
Yeah.
And that keeps competitive balance.
Nice.
So there wouldn't really...
Yeah, there's nothing...
There's, like the Patriots, doesn't really get disclosed how much NFL coaches make, but like the Patriots pay Bill Belichick, I'm sure.
So what do you think the main point of this was? Like, do you think the owner saw the Dolphins coach and was like, he should have been doing better by this point? Like, what did, don't they have probably projections for like the years to come with like coaches?
So I think an issue with Brian Flores is, and it's going to sound weird, but hear me out, I think he was too good. Okay. In a sense that, like, 29, because Stephen Ross said he wants to build a sustainable winner. He wants a team that's going to compete for Super Bowls every year.
Mm-hmm.
He was tired of, because from 2008 through 2018, it was just mediocre football.
Yeah. Like
winning between 6 and 8 games every season.
Yeah.
That's just what the Miami Dolphins were for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
He was tired of that cycle. And I think had they been the worst team in the NFL, like they should have been in 2019, and if they had a lesser coach, they would have been in 2019. And then last season, had they won like 6-7 games, like if they had a lesser coach, they probably would have, because that's where that team was talent-wise.
Yeah.
And then this year, let's say they go 9-8 after being the worst team in the NFL and then winning like 6 or 7 games the year before. He's trending in the right direction. And it's like, okay, and now we're going to have the fucking 49ers draft pick, whatever it is. We can keep building something here. Instead, he won 5 games, won 10 games, won 9 games. And Stephen Ross, I have to think.
Yeah.
He did all that. He had Chad O'Shea the first year was the offensive coordinator, Chan Gailey in year 2, and then this year they had co-offensive coordinators. So, like, I don't want to get stuck in a thing of mediocrity.
Yeah. Where
our coach is a defensive-minded coach and he's fucking great, but he can't hire an offensive staff that will stick around and do well. And we're not going to be able to develop a good offense, which in the NFL you fucking have to.
Yeah.
It's not a coincidence that the Chiefs went to back-to-back Super Bowls. It's not a coincidence that Tom Brady keeps going to the Super Bowl. Like, good offenses win in this league.
Mm-hmm.
I think Stephen Ross looks at that and he's like, we're going to get stuck in just a mediocre cycle.
Yeah.
I want to break that. I don't think Brian Flores was the issue. And, like, I looked at, like, Denver fired their coaching staff. It's not a sexy name, but, like, Pat Shurmur was Denver's offensive coordinator. He knows how to run an offense. If Flores would have been able to bring him in this offseason. Dan Mullen, who's the head coach of the University of Florida for years, great offensive coach, couldn't recruit. You don't need to recruit as an offensive coordinator. If I'm Brian Flores, like I would have gone and gotten Dan Mullen this offseason, like come run my offense.
So then
bring in whoever you want with you, come run the offense, and let's make shit happen. You don't have to recruit. You just have to coach offense. You're great at that, Dan Mullen. Come do it.
So what do you think is more important now for the owner of the Dolphins to find? A offensive coordinator or a head coach?
I mean, it's a head coach. You need... Cause it all stems off, like...
Yeah.
The Patriots aren't a dynasty because Josh McDaniels is a good offensive coordinator. Mm-hmm. They're a dynasty because Bill Belichick's a great head coach. Josh McDaniels is a great offensive coordinator, and it definitely helps, but they'd be fine without McDaniels. They wouldn't be fine without Belichick. Like, you need the head coach who's running everything.
Yeah. So you're worried that they might not bring in top-of-the-line head coach?
I'm worried, and, like, long-term it could be great. But I'm worried they're going to go get someone like Kellen Moore from Dallas, who is a young offensive coordinator it's like a fun, like, young offensive mind. But looking at this defense, they have a defense that's capable of...
Yeah.
Like, I would put them up against any other defense in the league and say it's comparable. Like, if they had a competent offense, they could be a Super Bowl team with this defense. And I'm worried that they're going to hire a young, like, sexy offensive coordinator name that's not ready to coach a high-level NFL team, like, as the head coach. And they're going to take a few steps back for a year, and then the offense is ready to play well, but...
They don't have, like, a head coach.
Xavier Howard is 34 years old and not Xavier Howard anymore, and Christian Wilkins is getting older, and Jalen Phillips needs a new contract. Like, I'm worried that the offense is going to progress too slowly under a new team. The defense is going to stay stagnant, not get better.
So that's why it's all about kind of like timing of trying to build the perfect team at the right time. Yeah. So you can't just like, that's why they try to do what they did in like 2019 and kind of like restart from the ground up kind of thing.
They said we're gonna tear everything down and we're gonna build a new thing. And on the defensive side of the ball, they absolutely did that. Mm-hmm. There's Xavier Howard, Jerome Baker, and that might be it as far as players who were on that defense before Flores got there. And like Xavier Howard and Jerome Baker are probably the two best players on the defense.
Yeah, but that's because that's the only reason why they're probably still there. Yeah.
Well, and Flores knows how to fucking use them.
Yeah.
Like Jerome Baker has moved around different spots, and they played him at outside on the edge, and he was their best player this year, with the exception of Xavier Howard. I'm worried, like, if they get in, like, in 2 days, they could have hired a head coach, whoever it is, and I could be singing a different tune. But I think they need to go out and get someone with head coach and experience, because the team's ready to win now.
So I'm not sure if you said who is the best head coach they could bring in right now that you think?
I don't even know, because I did not expect this to be a thing going on.
Yeah.
So, like, there's always rumors that Sean Payton's going to leave New Orleans. I don't think that's super realistic. But if they went out and got Sean Payton, who's been a head coach for 15 years and has won a Super Bowl and has built like a good thing in New Orleans, I'm happy with that decision. It's short-sighted because Sean Payton's probably retiring in the next 5 years.
I'm sure he's getting over the weather up there. He's like, I'll go to sunny South Florida.
There you go.
All right? That's the deal breaker.
Sean Payton. And honestly, like Jim Harbaugh, I don't think it's realistic. And Stephen Ross they did a press conference today. And he said, I'm not going to be the one who takes Jim Harbaugh away from the University of Michigan. So there's that. Jim Harbaugh, if that was the plan, I wouldn't be stoked, but I could find a way to get on board with that. Because at the end of the day, Jim Harbaugh, when he was the 49ers head coach 10 years ago, went to the NFC Championship game and then went to the Super Bowl the following year. Didn't win, but like back-to-back years, deep playoff runs.
Is there any benefit of being a college coach, head coach for like a big university compared to, an NFL team?
Money.
And like you're going to get paid more to...
So like, not for long, but like Lincoln Riley just signed, he left Oklahoma to go to USC. and he signed a 10-year, $110 million deal. Like college just throws crazy long-term deals at coaches. Like Jimbo Fisher when he left Florida State. He signed I want to say it was an 8-year, $75 million deal.
Holy shit.
And like Florida State was like, yeah, no, we can't match that. Just fucking good luck.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, sorry to see you go, but like that's a lot of money. That's a very long-term deal. Best of luck, Jimbo.
Yeah.
Like that's something college and like NFL. So Lincoln Riley's deal is they purchased the house that he owned in Oklahoma from him at above market value, bought him a house in Southern California, gave him a 10-year, $110 million deal, and gave him 24/7 access for personal use to the USC private jet. Like he just like crazy shit like that where Lincoln Riley's like, yeah, of course I'm doing, and I get to leave Norman, Oklahoma and go live in Southern California.
Dude.
And Lincoln Riley's like 32 years old. He's gonna fuck so many USC girls, it's not even funny.
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah, like that's
I want to
stuff they
meet
do
the
in
people
college.
that are making those deals. Like on behalf of the university.
Yeah.
I just picture it being like South Park with Cartman, and then he's just being like some piece of shit.
But like, end of the day, Lincoln Riley built one of the best offenses in college and football in Oklahoma.
Yeah, and then it brings so much money and attraction,
and it's got to be easier to recruit at USC.
Yeah,
that's got to. So like, Oklahoma's a great program.
That dude is running fucking football plays and fucking bitches. That's all he's doing.
And like, it's such an easier sell to recruits to be like, yeah, you can come live Southern USC. It's near Los Angeles, right? It's like
just
Pasadena.
Some fucking old white dude just like putting his arm around him. Oh yeah, come to USC. Look at all the women. We're gonna give you a mansion. Don't worry, we're gonna take care of you. Just
don't even worry about your house. We'll buy it at a premium.
Yeah. How does 110 million sound, boy? He's just like chewing on fucking a toothpick or something.
Yeah, I think the NFL. They have to, because like what's the incentive for like Sean McVay, who's the Rams coach? He's a young, really good coach. If he's making $7-8 million coaching the Rams, and fucking the University of Florida is like, oh no, we'll give you $12 million a year, and you can use our jet whenever you want.
Yeah.
And like come live in Gaines. Like it's just.
How could you not?
The NFL is going to have to raise what they pay, and they will.
Yeah.
They will. Otherwise, they're going to have a fucking coaching problem.
Yeah, right, because then all the best coaches are going to...
They're going to go get top college football jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah, like fucking Nick Saban will retire, and
is that part of the
Kyle
cap?
Shanahan will go coach Alabama.
So you're saying they're going to raise that cap that you were talking about?
I don't know if there's... I could be wrong. I don't know if there's a cap for coaching.
Okay.
I think it's just whatever the owner feels comfortable spending.
Okay.
There's a salary cap for the players for competitive balance. I don't know that there is one for coaching.
Okay.
Yeah, and I could be wrong. But we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what the Dolphins do. Initial reaction is I'm not happy about it.
Yeah.
And I think if I'm Josh McDaniels, who's the Patriots offensive coordinator, I take the Jaguars job. I don't even hesitate. Trevor Lawrence is the Jaguars quarterback, and they have the first pick in this draft, and they have a bunch of money to spend. I can go play with a generational talent at quarterback and pick Aiden Hutchinson from Michigan or Kayvon Thibodeau from Oregon and spend a bunch of money on free. Like I can go build something in Jacksonville. If he doesn't, I think Flores could go to Jackson. I think there's going to be like 5 or 6 other head coaching jobs that are open this offseason, and I think Brian Flores gets one of them.
Do you think that the owner already knew that he was going to fire, or I don't know what's maybe the correct way? Like, but what I'm saying is for like probably months now, because like why would he do it now at this point when he's with the record he has?
I don't know when he decided, but it definitely wasn't after they beat the Patriots at home and finished the season with a winning record. Like,
do you think then he's like, oh fuck, now I got to break the news? And
that's the kind of thing. Like, I wonder if they beat the Titans and beat the Patriots and made the playoffs, but let's say they lose in the first round of the playoffs. Does he fire Brian Flores after that? Like that's what I wonder. When was this decision made? if they won 9 straight and then lose in the first round of the playoffs, does he still fire him? Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be
There is
interesting.
some weird resemblance between that whole story and the movie The Replacements. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to spoil anything, but like, there's some similarities.
Spoil anything. Yeah, big old mustache owner.
Yeah.
Stephen Ross needs to grow a mustache.
That's what I was going to say. It's all about the stash.
Yeah, but let's enough about real football. Let's talk movie football, baby.
Oh, I love movie football.
Let's talk movie football. How we gonna talk money?
Oh, dude. Money is one of my favorite things to talk. So, what do you think the budget was, David?
What year did this movie come out?
2000. It's crazy, man. 2022. Here we are. Happy New Year's, everyone.
2000.
22 fucking years ago.
When did The Matrix come out?
2001. Or no. That might have been the second one. I think it was 1999 or something like that. I could look it up. God. Google. They never make it easy. 1999. Yep.
1999. So Keanu made a pretty penny for this movie. Gene Hackman. I don't know what you paid Gene Hackman. I don't even think Gene Hackman knows what you paid Gene Hackman. I'm going to say $60 million budget.
Wow. Pretty close. Just a little bit lower, David.
What is it?
50.
50?
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
What do you think they made?
I couldn't even fucking get. They made $100 million.
They ended up making, profit-wise, $54,000.
So they made $50 million, $54,000.
Mm-hmm.
That's spectacular.
Yeah.
Look at that, making
That
a
was their
profit.
gross worldwide.
And like the investors are like, "Oh man, we're expecting more." But you made a fucking profit. Yeah, you made a profit on this movie. This fucking turd of a movie made a profit.
$54,000.
Yeah.
Going straight to the fucking production studio.
There we go. Good for them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
$54,000.
How?
That's definitely not enough. If you had to ask me,
Nah.
Bray, is that enough? It's the one time I'm gonna be like, yeah, I don't think it's enough, David.
What are they saying about this movie? What are the ratings?
Oh, dude, you want the ratings? I mean, should we start with IMDb? I guess so, right? So, IMDb gave it a 6.6 out of 10. Good for IMDb. But Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 41%. Metacritic gave it a 30%. And them Google users gave it an 87%.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
What do you give it?
I give it... Oh, man. It's like I've been like thinking like, man, what am I going to rate this? Because in the beginning I was like, and then like as it went on, I was like, all right, I was like, okay. I give it a 5.7.
Yeah, I give it like a 5.
Yeah.
It's not good. If you had like... This is a movie for me, like I remembered watching it a bunch as a kid.
It's actually the first time I've ever seen it.
Yeah, so like I watched a bunch as a kid, so like there's the nostalgia aspect for me, but like if you haven't seen The Replacements, you're fine.
Yeah.
You're doing all right. You don't listen to this and you'll pretty much get an idea of what happens.
I felt like they were a quarter way into making this film. They were like, you know what? Let's just pull out all the stunts.
Let's do it all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chicks dig scars.
Yeah.
Glory lasts forever.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Yeah. That is the quote.
Like it's a fucking ridiculous movie.
Yeah.
What's left? Awards? They can't have won any awards, right?
Yeah, none.
None?
None.
Were they nominated for anything?
No. When I looked it up on IMDb, there was none, and I was like, that can't be true. And I tried to do
Did a
more
little
research.
bit deeper dive.
I tried to. Yeah, nothing.
There we go. That makes sense to me, though. Like, because if you're an awards, like, what could you give them? What could you give them?
I mean, dude, there's enough awards for, like, worst movie of the, or worst whatever.
That's it, but I don't think it's that bad.
I don't think it's that bad either.
Yeah, like it wasn't at a level where I was like, oh, you got to give it the worst movie, worst excuse for an actual movie.
Same,
like all that
but I was
stuff.
thinking, like, nomination, you know?
Yeah, but I think it was fine enough.
Yeah.
2000, I'm sure there were some fucking stinkers that came out.
Dude, 2000 was like I feel like between like 1995 and 2005 there was just like a change in cinema, and there was just like a lot of weird fucking movies in between that time where it was like, because it was like I feel like it was kind of like around the time when there was probably a lot of technology changing in cinema, and probably some people just had it, some other people didn't have it, well, along with a lot of other movie making fucking fundamentals. But yeah, I just felt like there was a lot of weird movies between like 1995 and like 2005.
Yeah, like The Fan with Robert De Niro and Wesley Snipes.
David, read me like a book.
Yeah, I think that was 97. Like,
Yeah.
Fucking Fear with Marky Mark. Like
Dude, yeah.
You cast too big of a net for that. Like, I could name a billion movies.
No, for sure. It's 10 years.
But we'll stop at those two.
Yeah.
Stop at The Fan and Fear.
Yep.
Two of my favorites.
Best examples you could have gave.
All right. Do we want how long did we talk about Brian Flores and the Miami Dolphins?
Like 20 minutes.
All right. It's about what I was thinking it was going to get to.
Yeah.
So, yeah. You want to talk about the replacements or what?
I guess, you know.
All right. So the movie starts. We see Keanu Reeves. His name is also Shane Falco. I'll say between those two names, I'm going to say occasionally.
Yeah.
If I say Falco or Keanu Reeves, just know same person.
I feel like that was the hardest decision of this whole movie. Finding out his name. They're like, nah, it's not cool enough. It needs to be Falco.
And like the production wise.
Yeah, like the
figuring out
writers
what
were
they're-
like,
okay.
they're like,
I thought you meant
man.
as the viewer, and I was gonna be like, no, they call him Shane Falco immediately.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
did you think his name in the movie was Keanu Reeves? You're like, man, what are they calling Keanu? That's Keanu Reeves. His name is Shane.
what is they doing?
What are they doing here?
No, yeah, I just thought like, man, what a cool name. That's why they just kept saying. I'm like,
Shane
oh yeah,
It is a cool name.
it's got to have a cool name if you're the quarterback.
Absolutely, Shane Falco.
Can you imagine a quarterback with just a lame ass name? Think of a lame ass name for a quarterback.
Joe Flacco.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Tom Brady. That's a cool name. That's actually cool. I was gonna say it's, but like
It rolls together.
Tom Brady.
Yeah.
That's all right. All right, touche, Tom Brady.
Yeah, touche.
Yeah.
Just good at everything, aren't you?
Yeah, he's so fucking good. Man.
Hot. What?
Best. He's hot.
Yeah. What? Oh,
Yeah.
God.
You don't need to act like you didn't say that. I don't think anyone listening here is like, what? Tom Brady's hot?
You watch
Who thinks that? Yeah, he's a great looking. He's like 60 years old, I think, and he's fucking the best looking guy in football.
Yeah.
Have you seen Pat Mahomes? He looks like a fucking goober.
I know, dude.
Tom Brady's like, look at me.
Look at
I mean,
me.
I got a little bit of gray, but you're still like, God, he's fucking good looking. Good looking, man.
The way that fucking name rolls off the tongue.
So Keanu Reeves lives on a boat,
On a boat.
and then he drives like a little lifeboat over to a sailboat and gets in the water and starts scraping barnacles off the bottom of the boat.
He calls it Tugger. Tugger whistle blowing. Come on, David, sing it with me. No? You don't think that the boat looks like Tugger?
No.
What?
Dude, Google Tugger, and dude, this is like a normal looking lifeboat that would be on the back of a bigger boat. Tugger's a big tugboat that would be used to like pull like a barge. It looks nothing like Tugger, not even a little bit. That was such a you gotta, just because boats involved, you can't just pick a South Park boat and be like, here we go.
Come on,
It looks absolutely nothing like it, and I hate that you just started typing, by the way. This has all been filler for you to look up Tugger, and you waited until now. You keep stopping typing. We're just killing time right now.
Oh, man.
That's all it's doing.
I feel like they look alike.
They look nothing alike.
All right, David, you win this one.
No, I mean, dude, fucking pause it and look it up. Pause it and look it up, because you don't think you're wrong. You still think you're right. They look nothing alike.
We'll be
First
right
of all, Tugger's a cartoon.
Yeah.
We'll be right back. So, I mean, like, as per usual, Braden thought I was talking about a different boat. Braden just heard me say boat.
Yeah.
And he starts going, oh, Tugger's a boat, Tugger. Tug, his whistle's blowing. He just fucking got excited when he heard boat. Braden and I were talking about two completely different boats in the movie. The boat Braden was talking about, I mean, it's big. I don't think it looks like Tugger either.
There's some resemblance.
But the boat I'm talking about is the like lifeboat that has the inflatable sides that looks absolutely nothing like Tugger.
Dude, there's like 3 seconds of Keanu Reeves driving this boat.
Yeah, and I'm talking about him.
I don't even remember it, honestly. I'm like, what are you talking about, David? He woke up on his fucking boat. What do you mean? He's like, no. It showed me, and I was
This
like,
boat, the boat he drives over to the sailboat.
Yeah.
And then he hops in, he's scraping the barnacles off the bottom of it, because that's his job.
He fucking scrapes him.
It's his fucking job. He's a barnacle scraper. And then he looks down and sees a big trophy in the shape of a football. And on the base of the trophy, it says Shane Falco, All-American 1995, which we don't know at the time, but that's him. And then he pretends to play quarterback underwater, and he's like looking around, then he makes the throw, and then celebrates, and it's going crazy.
One thing I captured from that moment was, wow, he's got a long breath. I mean, like, that man was really holding his breath. The play was long. He even cheered for like a minute.
It wasn't a full minute. I think I could do that shit.
You think?
Do that shit in my sleep, bro.
It's Keanu Reeves.
In my sleep. You want to know something?
Yeah.
I don't sleep.
You don't?
No.
I heard Kim Jong-un doesn't sleep.
No, you can't. He's fucking running the country, baby.
I heard he doesn't poop either.
He's running the people. Yeah, you can't. Doesn't got time to sleep. Don't got time for shit.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
There was something else he just said recently.
No one is allowed to wear leather jackets.
He said he was like...
That's a real thing. He boycott. Only he can wear leather jackets.
Only he can wear leather jackets. You can only have certain haircuts. And then he just said that he invented... Oh, man, what was it? It was on fucking Barstool. It was fucking hilarious. That he invented... burritos in 2011. Apparently that's like legit that he said that.
I mean, you don't know that he didn't. All right?
Or that he said his father, the other Kim Jong, created burritos in 2011.
Absolutely.
Like, what the fuck?
Do you know Vince McMahon?
Do I know Vince McMahon?
Yeah.
Yeah. Personally?
Yeah.
No.
All right. Well, so then Shane Falco. No. So when Eddie Guerrero, God rest his soul, was still alive, they were talking about doing a skit where the Big Show, your favorite wrestler of all time, you think he's the all-time greatest, stole Eddie Guerrero's burrito and ate it. But Eddie Guerrero put laxatives in it, and the Big Show had to shit a bunch. Ha ha, so funny. As they were pitching this in the writer's room, Vince McMahon goes, "No, but I don't think anyone knows what's a burrito. I don't think anyone will get that.
No way.
No one knows what a burrito is."
When was this? What?
Eddie Guerrero died in like 2005.
Yeah, like early 2000s?
Yeah. He's like, no one knows what a burrito is. Like, it's going to go over people's head. And the best part was every day. Not every day. They're like all the time. He would have steak burritos brought into him. And he just called them steak wraps. And thought, like, that's what they're called.
No way.
Did not know that he ate a burrito, like, every week.
I'm, like, lost. Was Taco Bell not a thing in the early 2000s
Absolutely,
where everyone knew what burritos were?
But you're Vince McMahon. He's been a billionaire. So there's no way he's ever eaten at Taco Bell.
True, but
yeah.
He's probably eaten at some place that has good burritos.
I don't think Vince McMahon... You get to that level. You don't go to restaurants.
Everything's just catered.
Yeah, he's not, like, going out.
True.
Places, and everyone will be like, oh, it's Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, Vince McMahon's over in that booth. You can go say hi to him. Like,
that man said the N-word one night.
He did. He said it. He called John Cena his N-word in front of Booker T.
Yeah. And I just love that Booker T was like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
On live television.
What's he going to say? Fuck's he going to say?
Boss, I don't think that's a good idea.
And he'd be like, well, it's my company. This is what we're doing, Book.
Book's like, all right, fuck it.
If you don't do it, I'll find someone else who will. And he's like, all right, so guess I'll be a part of that.
Now he's a legend.
Yeah. So now we're at the real game. Name of the team is the Washington Sentinels. Mm-hmm. And there's a QB. His name's Eddie Martell. John Madden is commentating this. By the way, we're doing this movie in honor of the late great John Madden.
R.I.P.
God rest his soul.
Yep.
I think as far as the 2 movies he's ever been in, I think I like The Little Giants more than this. But this movie
What do you mean when you say like the movie overall, or like him in the movie? Like you like his performance?
I think
more?
I like The Little Giants more.
Okay.
But if Braden would let me finish, John Madden is a much more prominent character and does better in The Replacements.
Okay, nice. Yep. All right. Spoke too soon.
So I think I don't know, I would have rather have watched The Little Giants.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a more fun movie to cover. But we're doing John Madden Memorial to the movie where Little Giants, John Madden has one scene.
Yeah.
And the replay, he's all over this fucking movie.
Yeah.
It's a John Madden, Pat Summerall movie.
Mm-hmm.
And the quarterback, Eddie Martell, he rolls out of the pocket, has to scramble, and then runs and slides to avoid a hit inside the 5-yard line, and that's the end of the game. And John Madden can't believe it. He's like, oh, what a gutless play by Martell. I can't believe he slid there. And then there's an old guy with a sick mustache in a booth, and he's like, Martell, you fucking pussy. That's PG-13. I don't think they say the F word once, but I say it plenty.
You're talking about Jack Warden, right?
I don't know that actor's name. He's
the owner, right?
He's old mustache.
You're talking about the owner. Yeah.
Old mustache owner.
Jack Warden.
You are never going to say that name. His name is Old Mustache Owner.
This is the last movie that guy ever did.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. Good.
A little fun fact.
Good. I'm glad. He's Old Mustache Owner.
Yeah.
This whole movie. And he's like, what a pussy.
Yeah.
And John Madden, they just do a quick, John Madden's like, that could be the last play of the season, too. And then Pat Summerall clears up. If you don't know who Pat Summerall and John Madden are, go fuck yourself. All right? They were their commentary team forever in the NFL.
Iconic.
And Pat Summerall then just explains, he's like, the players' strike will go into effect as of 4 p.m. today. And then on the TV, the actor who plays Lauren London's dad in the movie ATL.
Oh,
remember the movie ATL?
Oh yeah,
that guy. His name in ATL is John Garnett.
Okay,
nice. John Garnett.
Yeah,
millionaire John Garnett.
All right.
Esquire, who's T.I.'s boy in that movie. He's all about John Garnett. He's like, that guy's my hero. That company's had 4 straight quarters in the black since he took over. The man's a legend. I want to learn from him, John Garnett. So he's on, and he's the player, the union rep, and he's like, the owners rejected our latest proposal that involved an increased salary cap, so, yeah, we're going to be striking. Our guys going to be holding out, blah, blah, blah. It happens. This movie does a thing that annoys me.
What is it?
Which is they make it like all NFL players, they care about the money, and they're holding out. They're a bunch of spoiled divas. Mm-hmm. Here's the thing. The NFL is the most popular sport in the world.
Yeah.
Can we both agree on that?
Oh, for sure, yeah. I agree.
J.J. Watt did a great in 2018. J.J. Watt, at the time, I think Aaron Donald had surpassed him at that point. At the time, was one of the 5 best defensive players in the NFL. J.J. Redick, that offseason, signed a 1-year, $23 million deal. J.J. Redick, at that time, was not one of the 50 best players in the NBA. And J.J. Watt just tweeted, I make $12 million a year. That's how crazy the NFL... The players are, they make a lot of money, but they are so underpaid. And I get, the NFL, you have a 53-man roster compared to a 12-man roster in the NBA. I get all of that.
Yeah,
I get
but
all,
they're taking
and
so
there's
much
2 more
damage.
Teams. NFL player get fucking CTE. They have horrible lives after football.
And 1/3
Aaron
as
Hernandez
long as a career.
got turned into a queer and a murderer because of football. And this movie is just the players are such divas. They're a bunch of crybaby pussies who just care about money. I just want to say, instead of bringing it up constantly throughout this movie, that's a bullshit sentiment to make in this movie. The owners make a ton of money off of this. It is insane. The players should get paid more.
Yeah, they were making it seem that was the whole prerogative, is that all the players are getting paid too much now, so now they're not playing with heart. That's the whole...
Got no heart.
They got no heart.
Miles and miles of heart.
They're too rich.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Old mustache owner. yells at some dude who works for him. He goes, get me Jimmy McGinty and have him here tonight. And the guy's like, yes, sir. I'm on it.
Fuck.
I don't know how, like, they get such a craze. Get me Jimmy McGinty. Braden, go get me Gene Hackman. Have him here by tonight. Where would you even... Gene Hackman might be dead.
Yeah.
But where would you even start?
I would probably try to bait him with chocolate or something, you know?
Yeah, like no, just go get this. He's like, I don't know him. This is a fucking... It was 2000. It was 2000. That's not an easy figure out how to find this person.
Yeah.
He's like, I'd be like, sir, I'll try my best. I highly doubt I'll be able to get him to Washington, D.C. by tonight. Where's the man live?
Yeah, right?
Yeah, like
Can you imagine, though, being
don't get your hopes
so
up.
rich?
Where you just say that and it
We
happens.
just say it.
You just summon people and they appear in front of you. Like they appear in front of you, no questions asked.
Yeah.
After the game, Eddie Martell is being interviewed in the locker room, and he's talking about the strike, and he's like, and I know people think $5 million per year is a lot of money, but you know I got to give 10% of that to my agent, and then another 5% to my lawyer, plus alimony and child support. And then the running back of the team comes up and he goes, you have any idea how much insurance on a Ferrari costs, mother? And then they cut it off before he can say, fucker.
Yeah, fucker.
Gene Hackman shows up. He's Jimmy McGinty. He makes a drink for Old Mustache Owner. Mm-hmm. And Old Mustache Owner's like, where's your drink? And he's like, oh, I quit. He says, no one likes a quitter, Jimmy. Which is great.
Yeah.
And he's like, what do you... And Gene Hackman's like, why'd you summon me?
Yeah, what the
Why, did you just have me come here to make you that drink?
Yeah.
And we're moving on.
Like, what the fuck?
And old Mustache Owner, he's like, did you watch the game? Did you fucking see how much of a pussy all these people were? Blah, blah, blah. And he's like, take a ride with me, Gene Hackman. And then they walk down, and they're on a golf cart just out on the field.
Yeah, just driving around. And the way this conversation started to go, I was thinking, oh, God, are they going to kiss?
Best case scenario.
Yeah.
If this would have been just an ahead of its time, two senior citizens falling in love, two same-sex senior citizens falling in love, this would have been such a great movie. This movie would have... If fucking Old Mustache Owner and Gene Hackman ended up having a physical relationship with each other, this movie wins an Oscar.
Dude.
In 2000, that is so far ahead of its time. Like, this is the greatest movie of all time if that's what they decide to do with it.
Like, as the team starts to get better, their relationship gets stronger.
Oh, my God.
It, like, grows with the team.
And they go all the way to the Super Bowl, and then they get married. That's what this movie should have been.
Their mustaches combined.
So old Mustache tells Gene Hackman he wants him to come coach with replacement players, and that if they win 3 out of 4 games, they'll make the playoffs. We find out, and like the owner's like, Gene, this is like the best opportunity you're gonna get after what happened in Dallas. And he's like, I was right about that. And he's like, it had nothing to do with being right. You went head-to-head with an $8 million a year quarterback. Who'd you think was going to win?
Duh.
Which I think Belichick beat Brady.
Yeah.
Belichick went head-to-head with Tom Brady, and fucking they're like, well, Brady's going to leave. And like, not that the Patriots cut Tom Brady by, they would have taken him back in a second.
Yeah.
But like, those two supposedly weren't getting along, and Bill Belichick's still in fucking New England.
Yep. Yeah. Look at that.
So I think sometimes the coach wins.
Yeah.
You got a good enough coach, he's going to win.
Right? Just like with what happened with AB and I don't know the names.
That's different, though.
Yeah, I don't even know really what happened. I just
Antonio Brown is mentally ill, and I hope he gets help.
Is that what's really like going on? Like, I heard that he said that I'm not playing. Like, I heard he made like a statement to the coach, like, "Hey, I'm not playing. What's going on?" And the coach is like, "Yeah, you're not playing," or some shit, and he got pissed off.
Apparently, he his ankle wasn't 100%, but he dressed for the game. Bruce Arians told him to go in the game, and he said, "No, I'm not going in the game." And he told him again, "Hey, go in the game." He's like, "I'm not going in." He's like, "Well, then get off the fucking field." And he's like, "All right," and like stripped down to where he was shirtless and did jumping jacks across the field during a game. It's insane. Jogged off and then took an Uber. But Antonio Brown, like going back years ago,
Okay.
he played on the Steelers with Juju Smith-Schuster. And when Antonio Brown left the team, Juju Smith-Schuster won team MVP in Antonio Brown's last season with the team. And people were saying that Juju Smith-Schuster was better than Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown's way of being like, man, fuck Juju, the kid's a little punk. He posted like an Instagram screen grab that when Juju Smith-Schuster was a freshman in college, he sent Antonio Brown that was Juju Smith-Schuster being like, hey, man, congrats, like, you had an awesome year this year. Congrats. Like, I try to model my game after you.
Yeah.
You're the best in the league. Like a young kid being like, hey, man, I
You're
really
my
respect what you do.
inspiration.
Yeah, and Antonio Brown's like, I'm going to just leave this here. Enough said. And people were like, what are you accomplishing with this? Like in his mind, he was like,
oh, I'm better than
Juju's
him.
little bitch. Look at him, like,
yeah.
like that, but like rational. And dude, he posted another thing.
But you think that's part of like possibly CTE? I just think his ego's out of whack then for that.
I think like delusionally, it's mental health shit. Like delusional. He's fucking delusional.
Yeah.
He also posted. I'm blanking on the guy's name. Tom Brady has a trainer that he's worked with for fucking years, and that's why Tom Brady is 1,000 years old and is still in great shape and plays quarterback in the NFL. Alex Guerrero is the guy's name. And Antonio Brown did a post and said, I can't believe Tom Brady would work with someone like this, and then shared a screen grab between him and Alex Guerrero where it was Antonio Brown saying, yo, AG, I paid you $100,000 up front, and like I don't want to train with you anymore. Blah blah blah. How am I going to get my money back? And Alex Guerrero's response was, "Hey, AB, totally understand and respect that you want to go in a different direction. Let's get in touch. Send me your info, and we'll figure out how we're going to get you your money." And Antonio Brown's like, this motherfucker stole $100,000 from me. He thinks it's okay. Like, and like in his mind, he's like, what a piece of shit Alex Guerrero is. Normal people read that and they're like, looks like he handled that perfectly.
Do you think like Tom Brady is just like when he sees shit like that, he's just like, oh, god damn it, now I gotta fucking save the day again?
He has to. He has to be like, the fuck's wrong with him, man? Tom Brady's like stuck his neck out for Antonio Brown a couple times.
Yeah, when you think about it too, you know, like I would say wide receivers and running backs probably will be the ones to end up with the most CTE out of most positions.
Who the fuck knows?
No, yeah, I mean that's.
I mean, nose tackles, centers, they just crash into each other every play. Like,
yeah, but I kind of mean like for you to get, you know, it's usually from like concussions and stuff like that, and being like 2 inches or a couple inches away for like the
linebackers.
Yeah, well, yeah, so like maybe a linebacker too.
There's just,
I think it's more from like getting cracked, not seeing it. That's what I'm saying. Like a wide receiver not seeing they're about to get popped, not being able to brace for it or something.
who the fuck knows?
No, yeah, you're right.
Who the fuck knows? I think when Luke Kuechly dies, they're gonna examine his brain, and it's gonna be a fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
He was a linebacker for the Panthers for like 10 years.
No, for sure.
His brain is going to be just a fucking disaster.
No,
when
for
they
sure.
dissect that. You're going to be like, oh, this is really bad.
Yeah.
Who the hell knows?
Yeah.
So Old Mustache wants him to be the job. He says, you're going to be coaching a team. I want a team. He said, I want a team with a bunch of poor nobodies who play to win, not a bunch of bitchy millionaires. This billionaire owner of a football team is saying that. Fuck that guy.
Whoever the writer is probably just really...
He's like, the game isn't what it used to be. We got to get the game back to what it used to be. Here's how we're going to do it. I have heart.
I'm sure he lost a bad bet, and that's just how he feels. That's like the reason why he thinks he lost. He's like, they're just too rich. That's what it is.
It's all the bitchy millionaires.
They didn't have enough heart.
So Hackman flips a coin. Then I guess it was right because he looks at the billionaire owner and he's like, I want full control of my team. He's like,
got
it. Whatever players I want. And the guy goes, my word is my bond. And he goes, I want it writing.
Yeah, he did say that.
And he's like, all right. And they shake hands. So now they're building the team. It looks like the coaching staff is weird. Because there's a guy, it seems like one guy's an offensive coordinator, one guy's a defensive coordinator. but like we see the defensive coordinator coaching the offensive line at times, and it's a weird dynamic on that team.
Yeah.
I don't know who does what, but there's two main assistants along with Gene Hackman.
Yeah.
And it looks like they did a bunch of work. They like had a list, and he just says, we're going to go in a different direction. just fucking bypasses that.
Yeah.
He's got a list of dudes that he's been watching for a while. First one's John Favreau. John Favreau.
I did not understand this character.
I loved this character.
No, like
I don't think you were supposed to understand him.
No, not. I mean, like in the very beginning.
So he works for SWAT.
Was that what? That's what I'm saying.
It was,
He was SWAT.
Yeah, SWAT team.
Okay,
and he busts into
this is just him.
He busts into a meth lab alone.
Yeah, alone.
Beats the fuck out of this dude. Sticks the guy's head in boiling water.
It's like acid or some shit.
And then pulls the guy. But the guy is too cool about having his head just dunked in boiling water.
Yeah,
like he would be writhing in pain.
Yeah,
like it would be bad.
But he's not stealthy or anything like SWAT is. He literally kicks the door open and he starts screaming and runs at him like a linebacker
and just fucks the dude up. And he's like he was a linebacker at Michigan State, but then quit football to go back for a second tour of duty after he had already been awarded a Purple Heart for losing a kidney in battle. So he was also in the military. They're just setting up like, oh, this guy's the biggest fucking lunatic in the world.
Yeah, how old is he at this point? Jesus
Who
Christ.
knows?
Right? Like,
next is Clifford Franklin.
Clifford.
Well, I don't know if I said the guy's name is Danny Bateman, but he's played by John Favreau.
Yeah.
The linebacker guy.
Yeah.
Clifford Franklin, played by Orlando Jones. I call him Clifford Franklin the whole movie.
John looked good. You know, obviously he's younger, but he looked good for his age.
Orlando Jones?
No, John Favreau.
John Favreau?
Yeah.
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 This was 20 years ago.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
But if anyone's looking at John now, they'd be like, him, football player?
No. Look up Danny Bateman.
Yeah.
Clifford Franklin is the fastest son of a bitch Gene
Fastest.
Hackman has ever said. And the offensive coordinator goes, but can he catch? And Gene Hackman goes, well, that's your job, Leo.
Yeah.
And it shows he's like a janitor at a convenience store, and a kid steals a Twinkie, and he chases him down in the street. And he goes, "Sup, man, you got a Twinkie?" And the kid just throws it in the air. I guess he gives up, keeps running, just throws the Twinkie up. And Clifford Franklin can't catch it. It hits him in the head, and then he steps on the Twinkie and just ruins it.
There's no awareness. Didn't even see it coming.
Yeah. Andre and Jamal Jackson. They're two big black brothers. They're security guard for some dude. And then Andre gets a phone call, and him and Jamal, like, they stop. And the guy's, like, getting hounded by people trying to get him. He's like, oh, man, forget that guy. We just got called. We're going to play football. And Jamal goes, football? He goes, football, football, football. Like, they do that back and forth for a second. Nigel Gruff. He's a striker, soccer player. He's drinking and singing at a bar and giving away free drinks, and then some guys show up, and they're like, you owe us some fucking money. You're just giving away drinks. He's like, I got a line on a horse. I swear it's going to work. Just setting up. He owes some bad dudes some money.
But he's, like, Irish, and the people that are coming to him are, like, Italian, right?
He's Welsh.
Well,
He's Welsh. Someone calls him a Mick later.
Yeah,
someone calls him a Mick later. He goes, I'm not a Mick. I'm Welsh.
yeah, you're right. but it is kind of weird though that I feel like the mafia is coming after him.
I mean, it could be.
No, yeah, it could be, but
That's weird.
People
owe people money.
I think they intended it to be a little
of all ethnicities. Ethnicities?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, could be.
Ethnicities?
Like, it could be. Like,
it's not race.
No, yeah, like
from all demographics.
Yeah.
From all demographics, people owe each other money. Then the last guy, Shane Falco, and Leo goes, "You mean Footsteps Falco from Ohio State?" He goes, "Oh yeah." He's like, "He hasn't played in years." And then Gene Hackman goes, "Well, he should be well rested then." Now
Gene Hackman's just slick with it.
He just knows what he wants. You know?
Yeah.
Gene Hackman shows up at Keanu Reeves' boat. Keanu Reeves is on like the dive platform, just laying on his back, and Gene Hackman goes, "You look like a swordfish I caught once. It laid just like that." And Keanu's like, "Oh, fuck's this guy doing here?" He's like, "Do you know who I am?" He's like, "Yeah, you're Willie McGinty." He's like, "What do you want?" And they talk about the Sugar Bowl game where we find out Keanu Reeves lost by 45 points in the Sugar Bowl and has 3 concussions to prove it.
Yeah. Which I'm like, 3. How the fuck do you get 3 concussions in one game?
So I think just in general.
Yeah.
He got 1 there, and then the rest of his career is never the same after that.
Yeah.
Because apparently he went to Seattle and played. John Madden casually says at one point. But Gene Hackman has great. When he says, I got 3 concussions to prove it, Gene Hackman says that's why girls don't play the game. Real sensitive to brain damage. That's why girls don't play the game. You're a man.
You're a man.
Suck it up, rub some dirt on it. Get back out
doesn't
there.
infect men.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah. And it's a wild thing to say when you're healthy and like 75 and you're talking to some dude who's like in his prime, has the rest of his life to live.
Yeah.
Doesn't have a family like you do, like hasn't gone through all life experiences, and you're just like, you'll live through it, you're fine.
You're going to live forever. Come on.
Yeah, look at me.
Hackman wants Keanu Reeves to come play. Keanu says he's retired, and Hackman goes, yeah, it looks like things are going real well for you. Like, piece of shit.
Yeah. This guy's like rich too, probably.
Yeah, he's a fucking NFL head coach. I'm sure he's fine.
Just rubbing it in.
Then Hackman says, you know what separates the winners from the losers? Keanu says the score. And Hackman laughs. And goes, getting back on the horse once you've been kicked in the teeth. And Hackman's leaving. He goes, think it over.
I really, I understand it's a fucking expression, but have you ever met anyone who's just had their teeth kicked out by a horse and then was like, all right, well, I got to get back on that horse?
No.
Yeah.
No.
I don't think anyone's getting back on a horse that just kicked their teeth out.
I met a man in Montana. His name was Cowboy Larry.
Ooh.
And one day he fell off a horse, first thing in the morning. Fell off a horse, broke his arm. Drove himself to the hospital, got it casted up, was gone for 2 hours, and then came back and finished the shit he needed to get done that day.
That is real man.
That is the closest I've been. I think if you got kicked in the teeth by a horse, I think you'd take a full day.
That's the guy Gene's looking for.
Yeah, Gene's looking for Cowboy Larry.
Yeah, he is. That's, honestly, now we're talking about this, that's the one character they're missing.
Missing Cowboy Larry?
Cowboy Larry. Think about it. Yeah. That would have been a perfect character to add to this.
Yeah. I don't know anyone who's been kicked by a horse, but I imagine their life isn't good after that.
That Superman guy. Rest in peace. Do you know about that?
Is that how Christopher Reeves got all fucked up?
I don't know.
Got kicked by a horse?
Yeah, one of the old Supermans. Yeah, I forget his name.
That's how he was paralyzed.
Yeah,
a horse kicked him.
Yeah, that's what I read. Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's fucking bizarre.
It's not like I was there, but I
can't imagine you were there. I think you would know his name if you were there.
But yeah, that's what I read. Can you imagine? I always grew up next to horses. I always thought, fuck them, dude. I don't care, bro, how long I'm around this horse. It's going to be hard for me to fully trust it. Just because, if I'm standing behind it, just petting its butt, that thing could just kick me one time. Done. What, I got an issue with horses or something?
Yeah, dude, your uncle he really fucked you up, man. You can't even trust horses because of what he did to you? That's crazy. Avoid the backside of the horse. People do it all the time. It's a big thing. Don't stand behind it and pet it. I'll tell you one thing. It's not a trust issue thing. If you stand behind it and pet its ass, it's gonna kick you.
Yeah.
So don't do that.
So, another thing I'll say is, when I was one of the first time I was in LA, we were on a hike and we were super high up, and there was a group of horses that they fucking take people on tours.
Wild horses couldn't drag me away.
Yeah,
Marky Mark's just fucking caressing young Reese Witherspoon's clit.
Fuck yeah.
Just playing with it, and you're singing that song, and you're like, wild
David,
horses.
You know me too well, David.
Yeah.
So we're on this hike, and I swear to God, this is the craziest thing that almost happened. Not to me, but within my fucking premise. So we're on this hike, and there's this group of people who are being toured with horses, and this woman at the very end of the line, the last horse, they're literally walking right on the edge to where I swear to God, the horse's fucking hooves slid off the side, and I was shitting my pants. I'm like freaking out for the lady, oh God, and the lady's screaming. The lady is petrified, crying. like profusively, like freaking out, like almost jumped off the horse, which would have fucking kicked the horse down. Like this horse had a fucking death wish.
That'd be great. That'd be great. The lady jumps and the horse falls. Because, like, what does the person running the tour do in that scenario?
Oh, dude! And
like the lady like jumps off in a way that the horse slides in. So it's the lady's fault.
No, yeah.
And the person doing the tour can be like, the horse is fucking fine. Does this walk every day? What the fuck was that all about, lady? Like, he's like, the horse was not gonna fall.
And the lady was looking at me like as if I was gonna help her. She was sort of, because I'm like right behind her, and she's like, "Help me!"
And you like step back. You're like, "Fuck out of here!"
Yeah, I was like, "What am I gonna do? There's a fucking horse. I got trust issues, lady." But yeah, she lived.
There, thank God.
Right?
Thank God. This would have been a different story if she did.
Whew. But it would have been traumatizing.
So Lauren London's dad from ATL is out in front of the stadium again. He's just talking about how it's a shame that it had to come to this, but the players, he's doing his fucking job, really.
Doing his job.
Like, he's the union rep for the players, and he's like, it's a shame. Like, they want to play. He's like, they want to play, but this is the world we live in. The owners couldn't come to an agreement with us,
just think
so here
because
we are.
They don't win a game that, they need replacements.
Yeah, here we are, and he's like, and honestly, like, it's them bringing replacement players in. There's scabs. Like, it's bad for this country that the NFL thinks they can just go and do this. And as the bus is coming in with the replacement players, all the players are egging it. And
you mean fans?
Right? Fans.
Those
were players that.
Those are all players.
Those were real players that were striking.
No way.
They were egging. Yeah, they're egging the bus.
I thought maybe there was.
That's why
I thought it was like the fans mostly that were striking.
No, that's why Clifford Franklin is so excited the whole time. Orlando Jones.
Yeah,
character.
yeah.
He's like taking pictures. He's like, that's Eddie Martell.
Yeah.
He's like taking pictures. Like, this is crazy. He's like, I love these guys.
Yeah. So I got that. And I was like, oh, so there's some players there, but I thought that was mostly fans.
No, it was all players striking.
Wow.
These are scabs that are going against the union and making it harder for them to get what they want out of the strike.
Nice.
So they're egging it and they're doing it. And like players, one of the Jackson brothers is like reaching for his gun. He's like, I'm gonna fuck these boys up. Come on, let me out. Yeah. Let me out the bus. Doing that. One guy, the first guy getting off, is holding the Bible up, and he's like, "We are all brothers. We are all brothers." Doing that. The gruff flicks everyone off and goes, "Get a job, you wankers."
Yeah,
and then
he's
walks
great.
through. He's the best character in this movie.
For sure.
Between him and John Favreau.
Yeah.
And Clifford Franklin's pretty fucking great. There's
Yeah.
a few real great players.
Yeah,
in this
and characters,
movie.
yeah.
Characters, yeah, players. They're all essential to the team.
For sure.
So now we're at practice. Roy from The Office is a tight end, and he runs a nice route, makes a catch, and Leo, the offensive coordinator, I think, is real excited. He's like, where did you learn to catch like that? And then Roy starts doing sign language to Leo. And he's like, what the fuck is this all about?
I love it because he just looks at him for a second and just walks away.
Walks away, yeah. Not like, oh.
All right, we'll just stay here.
Yeah.
No, just walks away. Just like, are you fucking kidding me?
And he goes right over to Gene Hackman. He's like, why is my tight end deaf? The fuck's this about? And Gene Hackman goes, oh, dude, Roy was engaged to Pam for a while, and then Jim stepped in. He really needs this. He needs to rebound, and he's going to try the NFL. He's like, Roy would have gone on the first round of the draft if he wasn't deaf.
Yeah.
He's like, he's not, and he's like, look at it this way. He'll never get called offsides on an audible. And I don't know what that means. I don't think that's true. I don't think him being deaf, I think he won't hear the audibles, and
he'll always be a second late on the snap.
Be a second late on the snap, but also he won't hear the audibles.
Exactly.
So when Keanu Reeves changes the play,
he has to do some.
Yeah, he's either has to do a specific sign to him.
Exactly. Yeah.
Or Roy's just not going to know the play.
Yeah.
He might not be called off. He might be called offsides even.
Yeah.
So fucking Hackman, that makes no sense.
Now this might be pretty dumb, but can you not, like, when you're? I guess it depends, like maybe how deaf you are, but couldn't you get like a hearing aid or something like that, or is that not? It's not. You're just fully deaf. There's no coming back.
Do you think that's not a thing? Do you think there aren't people who are fully deaf?
No, I think there is. Do
you think everyone who's deaf just needs a hearing aid and then everything will be good?
Maybe like 80% or something.
No.
I'm watching the new Hawkeye. And he's got a hearing aid.
This character is fully deaf. There's people who have hearing issues in their older age, and they get a hearing aid, and it helps them.
What about Hawkeye?
I don't. This different character. Different character. This character is fully deaf. I don't think it'd be bizarre if they were like, he needs a hearing aid, but we just can't afford it, so we're just gonna have to roll with him not being able to hear. If we got him a hearing aid, it would be solved.
Maybe he could, but he's just better with his senses. If he doesn't have,
like when Jameis Winston.
Tell me,
Jameis Winston has needed LASIK surgery. Since his freshman year at Florida State, he'll look at the sideline and he'll be squinting his eyes so he can see. He just got it last year. He's needed it for so long. It's been an issue, and he just got LASIK surgery.
Now,
and then was playing real well for the Saints this year, and then tore his ACL.
But that makes a good time then to do it.
But no, he did it prior to the tore his ACL post LASIK surgery. Yeah, I don't like. It's bizarre that he waited as long as he did. He's like, you know what? I'm gonna fix my fucked up eyes. Maybe I'll be a better quarterback because of it. You won a Heisman Trophy with fucked up eyes.
That is pretty
Think
wild.
of how good you have to be to win a Heisman Trophy and then go first in the draft.
Yeah, because
with fucked up eyes.
Because especially if you got fucked up eyes, you can't see further the distance. You know what I'm saying? So if your wide receiver's going 40 yards. At that point,
you're just trusting your arm.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
That's why he throws so many fucking interceptions.
Yeah, it makes sense.
The gruff walks up, the kicker, and Leo isn't impressed. He's like, this is the guy you said he was solid muscle. This is the big kicker? And Rick goes, I'm wiry. And then Gene Hackman loves it and just keeps saying, wiry. Wiry. He's wiry. There's an inmate getting dropped off in the tunnel. And he's meeting with the guy who I think is the defensive coordinator.
They don't ever really get into
Later on, he's doing offensive line blocking drills. But other than that one scene, he is always coaching the defense. So I'm going to assume he's the defensive coordinator.
Doesn't he end up becoming the running back? The guy you're talking about right now?
We'll get there. We'll get there. He's a safety.
Well, that's the only reason.
He is a safety this whole movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Or there was a play.
Come on.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
Why don't we just tell him what happens at the end?
Well, my bad.
This guy plays safety.
I didn't know.
He shows up and he's getting dropped. He's in a fucking prison suit and he's getting dropped off by the police and they're signing over. And he looks at the guy and goes, "Nice watch." He's like, "Oh yeah, no, it's broken. It's only right twice a day." He's like, "Well, there's no. Why don't we head this way?" There's no. He's getting closer to the guy. He's like, "Oh, why don't we go this way? There's no sense standing out here, alone, out of screaming distance." And they're walking towards people because he's scared of them,
which is funny.
Yeah,
it's funny.
Leo's fucking freaking out about this whole thing. He's wondering where fucking Shane Falco is. He's like, "Where's Falco? We don't have a quarterback, and the only offensive weapon I can see is wiry." And he's like, "No, it's wiry, wiry." He's like, "I don't even know what the fuck this means." And then he goes, "Look at this mamma jamma," and a humongous Japanese man just starts jogging up and starts talking to Japanese to Gene Hackman, and he retorts. And then says, "Did you lose weight?" And he goes, "Come on, coach, don't say that." And he's like, "Why don't you go do some blocking?" And he goes, "Hoi, hoi." And goes and does it. And then he's like, "What the fuck is this guy? That guy lost weight?" And he's like, "He's a sumo wrestler. He's pushing people around. That's what pass blocking is." He's like, "You're right. It is."
Shit.
And he then knocks the blocking sled over that the defensive coordinator is on.
I kind of didn't like this because I'm like, dude, just because he's I get it. This fucking film is funny and shit, but the guy they had go right before him was a legit big fucking dude.
Yeah.
That hit it pretty hard, but they make it seem like this sumo wrestler is gonna demolish this sled, which he does. But I'm like, come on, bro. Acting as if sumo wrestling just inherently gives better form than other people who've been playing the sport probably even longer than this guy.
I mean, it does.
Yeah, you think?
Yeah. All the best offensive linemen are sumo wrestlers, and all the best sumo wrestlers are offensive linemen. Everybody knows that. The two go hand in hand.
I learn something new every day from you.
Knocks it over, and the gruff goes, "That'll do, pig. That'll do." And the sumo guy goes, "Screw you, cockroach," and then the gruff says, "Have to find your dick first, Shamu." And keeps walking.
And smoking a cigarette.
Yeah, oh yeah. The gruff is almost always smoking a cigarette on the field.
Yeah.
The whole movie, like almost the whole time.
Straight chiefin'.
He's like any scene he's in, he has a cigarette in his mouth, or he's just showing his cock to people.
Yes.
It gets real weird at points with this guy.
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves parks out in the parking lot. Eddie Martell and a bunch of players walk up, and he's like, "First you take my job, now you take my parking spot." And he's like, "Oh, I didn't know. I'll move it." And he's like, No, we got you. They'll take it." And they flip his car over.
Yeah, he's
His
got
truck.
like a shitty little dinky truck. And
Yeah, and they flip it over. They could do that.
Yeah, they
they're
could do it.
fucking. It was like 10 NFL football players. They for sure could flip that truck.
Yeah.
Best part is as he's walking away after they flipped it, he hits the lock button. So he locks the truck.
Yeah.
He goes, "All right, thanks guys," and then
He's got all of his like barnacles, scuba shit in the back too. It's all just all over the floor.
shit's all over the place. And as he's walking away, Eddie Martell yells, "Hey Falco, you're not even a has-been. You're a never was." And they all laugh.
Got him.
Yeah. Back at practice, Keanu, Jane Falco.
And really quick, what's the point of not having any of these other players practice? Like they're just completely being replaced. Like I'm confused. Like would this ever even actually happen?
So I don't know about the replacement players. In like 2011, NFL had a lockout where the players, the collective bargaining agreement expired. The players wanted a higher salary cap. They wanted a health benefit, like all that shit. And they held out through a bunch of the offseason until a new CBA could be negotiated. I don't know if they would do replacement players, but so like all the NFL players, like they're showing unity and they're like, I don't know, we're all going to hold out together until our demands are met.
So that's kind of like the only scenario where the NFL could just be.
Yeah, so they have a collective mid-season. I can't imagine the league would let that be a thing. They have collective bargaining agreements that run a certain amount of years, and at the end of them, the players try to negotiate to get, rightfully so, to get like fucking longer, better retirement packages for players, better health care, higher salary cap so players can make more while they're playing.
Yeah.
All that kind of shit. So like all of those players, the ones who aren't playing, the ones who are playing are kind of pieces of shit because they're crossing the picket line and being like, fuck everybody else. I mean, not pieces, like they're like, I want to go make money because I have to support my family, whatever. Making something's better than making nothing. But they're not in solidarity with the rest of the players. So all of these guys not playing are actually they're showing unity and they're going to help the cause by not playing.
Yeah,
it's smart. Sense. They paint Eddie Martell and all those guys to be assholes and they act like assholes, but I like what they're doing.
Okay, makes sense. Yeah,
advocate for yourself and be like, have fucking Shane Falco, who hasn't played in years, have him be the fucking quarterback. Yeah, do that. You have a sumo wrestler playing tackle.
Yeah, get some dudes from prison. Yeah. Let's see if...
You had to go get a fucking prison inmate to come play safety for this team. Like, get the fuck out of my face.
Yeah, and
pay us.
Yeah.
Like,
okay.
I like that, but they paint them to be the assholes.
Yeah.
We're back at practice, and Shane Falco jogs out and takes the field, and everyone takes notice. They're like, oh shit, there's the quarterback. And he tells Gene Hackman that he's late because of car troubles, which is funny. They flipped his car. That's not why you're late, but whatever. He's like, car trouble. Hackman accepts that. He's like, how's your arm? And he hands him a ball. And cold, without warming up.
Just silly.
And without stepping into this throw or doing anything. He's just like flat-footed. Throws a ball like
I didn't like his release.
60 yards in the air.
Because he when he threw the ball, he just like left his arm there for like a split second. When I'm like, you wouldn't do that. You'd be turning your shoulder over, kind of thing. Your hip, exactly.
Also turn your hips with it. Like
that's what I'm saying.
He was all arm, flat-footed, and it went
squared.
It went like 60 yards in the air.
Yeah,
cold after not playing football for years. Clifford Franklin is the one running, and he runs into the back of a defensive lineman and It's an incomplete pass, but they were like, that was a fucking throw right there.
When I was watching this, I started talking shit in my head, and then I immediately regretted it because I remembered that I did something very similar. So one time I was with Corbin at the beach, and he just overthrew it. Like he's fucking Flacco or some shit. And I'm running. Flacco, Joe Flacco, whatever. And I'm running. I'm trying to catch the ball. And we're on, like, Corbin's dad's private fucking beach I'd never been to. So I didn't know that that there's a ginormous fucking rock sticking out the beach. I'm talking about, like, oh, yeah. And this rock is, like, pointed, like, it rises up, like, 3 feet from the ground, and then it comes out. So I ran straight chest first into this fucking rock, looking behind me, and I've never like been hit so hard because I ran straight into it, running as fast as I could. And
You never knew pain till that moment.
bro, I ate it so fucking hard.
There we go.
Yeah, so
I mean, it's good.
watch.
Good for Corbin's dad, though.
Yeah,
Private beach? That's pretty sick.
I think it's like Laura's brothers. And they like, I don't know. It's all one big family, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't, but...
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know the dynamic of the situation. I don't want to touch on it too much.
there's a private beach over there. It's pretty sick.
Yeah, right?
They're now doing 7-on-7. And John Favreau sacks Keanu Reeves. And Gene Hackman tells him that in practice, we don't hit the guy in the red shirt. And Favreau goes, I know, but I just see that red and I have to. I feel like a bull, coach. The gruff is walking on the side, smoking a cigarette and comparing muscles to other players. Like he's looking at them walking by and he's looking at his bicep. And then he sees Shane Falco and he goes, Falco! Lost a ton of money on that Sugar Bowl performance. Really shit the bed, huh? And then just keeps walking. And he goes, yeah, nice to meet you too, man.
Yeah.
Keanu then... he takes the field again and looks at the head cheerleader a bunch. And, like, they have, like, a bunch of, like, back and forth, like, obvious sexual tension between the two of them. Yeah. And then he's dropping back to throw, but not really paying attention. He just keeps looking at the cheerleader. And Favreau fucking... lays him out again. And he's on top of Falco, and Falco looks at him and he goes, like, smacks his shirt. And Favreau goes, shit, I forgot about the whole red shirt thing, man. This game's confusing. And then goes to get up, and he grabs him and goes, just think, red means stop. And he goes, like a street light, right? Yeah. And he goes, exactly. And he goes, all right, come on, I'm going to help you out. He goes, nah, I'm just going to lay here for a minute.
Lay here and look at the girl, because that's what he's really doing.
And Favreau goes, work shit out, huh? And he's like, yeah. He's like, all right, I got you. And walks away. Favreau, he's a fucking weird guy.
Yeah.
Keanu and the cheerleader then exchange waves. The cheerleaders, they're doing... I don't get why this part... They're doing cheerleader tryouts as if...
It's just open tryouts.
But like, as if, like, the players are going on strike and so did the cheerleaders. I find it very hard to believe that the cheerleaders would also go on strike with the players.
Yeah.
That can't be I doubt there's a cheerleaders union. If there is, it's definitely a different union rep. Yeah. There's no way they're in solidarity with the players. They don't even fucking travel with the team. There's no way they're in solidarity with the players.
For sure.
I think it's silly.
But these tryouts were fucking insane.
The first lady, she like looks like a nerdy, and she's like, let's hear it for the quarterback. Hey, ho, ho. Can anyone do better? Say. No. Tackle.
Attack, tack.
Show those other boys what they lack. If I gave you $1, you could keep most of the change. Because all I really want is a
quarterback.
Like crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. The next chick is, it's like California oranges, Texas cactus. We think I got it. We think your team needs a little practice. Something, feed him with a spoon, roll him up in toilet paper, kick him to the moon.
Woo!
And like, she's like, let's see you guys dancing, and it's all fucking just crazy dancing. You're
Yeah,
like,
girls are fucking
you're like, this is
grabbing
not-
their tits
this
and
is
shit.
nonsense. And it's all none of them are like very good looking. It's all just nonsense what they're showing.
Yeah, you actually end up feeling bad for some of the girls. I'm like, oh man, maybe some of these girls are actually like this in real life, and they're just like, oh, you're perfect.
And fucking hot ass head cheerleaders just laughing at them.
Yeah.
She's like, fucking loser over
And-
here.
and then
she thinks that's good enough for the Washington Sentinels? She thinks she can be a Sentinels cheerleader? Get off my fucking field. We're now the teams all the guys are eating in the cafeteria, and one of the Jackson brothers, the two big black guys who are the guards, one of them doesn't know what fucking ribs are.
Yeah, what the fuck?
It's such a weird. He's like, what the hell even is this? And the guy goes, Chinese spare ribs, and he's like, huh? The who the what? He's baffled at it.
Maybe Kim Jong-un did
And
invent the burrito.
And he's like, I don't even understand how this guy's so fat. And he motions to like the sumo guys who he's talking to. He's like, I don't understand how he's so fat. And the guy's like, I'm fucking Japanese, not Chinese, dude. And he's like, it's the same thing. He's like, what? He's like, it's the same thing. He's like, Japan and China are two different countries. He's like, man, it's all that same. He's just making like offensive noises. And Japanese guy says, N-word, please. Which honestly, like, he shouldn't be saying it, but that guy was being way more racist. Like, so much more racist. He's doing that. He's like, it's the same country. Same ass country. And like they stand up and they're getting in each other's faces. And the gruff's like, we're on the same team. Same team. And the other black guy goes, the Mick's right. And the gruff starts yelling, Mick? He's like, I'm not a Mick. I'm from Wales. And because Mick is an offensive, it's a racial slur. It's a slur towards Irish people. Mm-hmm. He's like, I'm not a Mick. I'm from Wales. And the black guy with both hands grabs his face and says, whatever. And then the gruff goes, Jesus Christ, and like gets up and leaves the table. And the Bible guy, which is great, the Bible guy from earlier, when the gruff goes, Jesus Christ, he goes, you praise his glory, Nigel, you praise his glory. Like, this guy's great. And then the other black brother, he's like, man, I'm going to go sit with the deaf kid. And gets up and like walks away to go sit with Roy from The Office. And then the other brother and the sumo guy, they kind of look at each other and they're like, we're good. Like, we should sit here and eat.
Yeah.
Like, they're fine.
I don't feel like moving my plate.
Bible guy is talking to Keanu. Says he played one game in the pros and blew out his knee. He just wants to score one touchdown. And Keanu's like, you'll get there, man. You'll get that touchdown. Clifford Franklin recognizes the inmate. He's like, Wilkinson! Earl Wilkinson! Man, I knew I recognized you. You played for Minnesota, baby! Oh, you would have been all pro if you hadn't beaten up those cops and went to jail. And then Wilkinson sticks a knife in Clifford Franklin's cheek. And Clifford Franklin goes, what I meant to say was allegedly. Allegedly beating up those cops. And a good Christian boy such as yourself would never do something like that. And he pulls the knife away. And then Clifford Franklin goes, and when I heard my man didn't even do nothing anyways. Them cops just jealous of a black man. Don't want to see a black man with some money. I better not see a cop. You put me in the same room as a cop, I'm going to whoop his ass.
Then
and he's saying this to John Favreau.
And then John Favreau looks at him and goes, I'm a cop.
And like takes a bite of something.
Yeah, and just like looks at him. And he's just now like... he just gets up and walks away, right?
He goes, oh, look, bun cake.
Yeah.
And then gets up and walks away. He, like, make the distraction and get the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
More cheerleading. There's a crazy chick who has a knife, and she's like, stab them, slash them, down to the ground, smear their blood all over town. Like,
Honestly,
and she's wearing, like, boots and a thong, and, like, looks like if you're doing a lot of drugs, you'd be doing them with her, and she'd be, like, hot in that regard, where, like, you guys are just fucking and shooting heroin all day.
Yeah.
That's what she looks like.
Mm-hmm. And what's crazy is, you think, like, the football players or characters are crazy. These fucking girls are out of whack.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just wild.
It kind of gets smoke and aces here. I just want to stick with what happens with the cheerleaders.
Yeah.
Finish this and then get back to, because it kind of jumps back and
yeah.
forth here. So then Heather and Dawn show up, and it's two hot blonde girls, and the head cheerleader. Oh, excuse me.
Oh, that was a good one.
The head cheerleader thinks that Heather was in Cats.
Yeah, that's what it says like on her resume.
She's like, Heather, you were in Cats, which is amazing. I can't even
so
tell you how
happy
amazing
that
that is.
you two are here that know how to dance.
The Broadway show Cats, and then Heather quickly corrects her and goes, "Oh no, Pussy Cats,
the one right next to the airport."
Yeah, the club out by the airport." She's like, "Oh." She's like, "You guys have dancing experience?" She's like, "Well, lap dancing is a dance, right?" And then Dawn goes, "Oh my God, I forgot to tell you something."
And then the other goes,
but just like it was silent for that long.
yeah.
So where they both just stop and they're looking at her.
And then the other girl's like, she does that once in a while.
Yeah, it happens. And the head cheerleader's like, "All right, well, I've seen enough. Yeah. Do you guys have friends who would join you and do this?" And they're like, "Yeah, absolutely." So that's how you get Washington Sentinel cheerleading. Recommend. You just have to be hot.
Yeah.
Hot strippers. And she's like, "Yeah, you're better than that one lady who was talking about the quarterback and the
smearing
other
blood all over
blood." Yeah, like we're good. Just come on. After practice, Shane Falco is standing over by his flipped car, and the cheerleader came. Okay, so I said I was going to just do what the cheerleaders happened. They were going back and forth from the cheerleaders to them in the cafeteria. Mm-hmm. So I had already done that here.
Yeah.
And then let people know I was going to start doing that.
Yeah.
But it happened. By the point I told you guys I was doing it, it already done happened. So now it's after practice. Keanu's standing over by his flipped over car, and the head cheerleader comes over. She introduced herself to him, and she said that he looked good out there, looked strong, looked to have his mechanics, like really like a informed football conversation she's having with him.
Yeah.
And mentions how bad he was in the Sugar Bowl, and he's like, "Didn't anyone have anything better to do that day?"
Which is funny.
Yeah. And then she offers to give him a ride.
I like that part.
She's driving. She drives like a fucking maniac.
Yeah.
All over the place. And she's talking. It's the fucking most. It's insane.
Yeah.
She's like, normally, like, you're standing in the pocket too much. Normally, I would never tell a quarterback about his playing style, but you're in the pocket too much, and you're going to need to be able to move with Prescott coming. And he's like, "Prescott's striking." She's like, "No, he's going to cross on Sunday. They're just keeping it quiet. Friend of mine is a cheerleader for Detroit, and she tipped me off." She also said that she's friends with a girl, not even joking, she's friends with a girl who's friends with a girl whose sister broke up with Van Gundy, and she says that Van Gundy has been on a drinking binge ever since she dumped him. He's the other linebacker. He's like, so he's going to be hungover. He's going to be at least a second slower off the ball than he normally is. So you want to roll right instead of left. You want to avoid Prescott and go towards Van Gundy. And he's just like, that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense. But also, he's a left-handed quarterback. She's telling the left-handed quarterback
to run right.
To roll right. Did we not watch the fucking Dolphins this year?
Right?
Tua rolls right, they're fucked. Tua's rolling left, he's making shit happen. Mm-hmm. You make him roll to his right, all bets are off.
How you gonna throw?
Yeah, he's got to turn around his whole body and then throw it. It's a fucking nightmare.
We've already seen that he can't really overcommit his hips. He's too square already anyway. This is going to be a disaster.
It's a nightmare. She's giving him a horrible advice because because a friend of a sister,
fucking boyfriend
says he's going to be hungover for the game.
Bullshit.
Yeah, fuck her.
Then
gets
that's
off
some dirt from another team trying to throw off the quarterback.
There we go.
Right?
She's like, let's fucking
have your fucking left-handed quarterback roll right.
Roll to the right. Yeah. Let's
Yeah.
tell them that this is going on, and then he's like, "Oh, we got this." Like drop that knowledge to him. Like, done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because the head cheerleader's gonna have access to the quarterback naturally.
Yeah, just one eyesight, and they're connected.
They then get off and where Keanu lives, and she's like, "Which boat's yours?" He's like, "You see that big white one with satellite dish?" She's like, "Oh, wow." He's like, "I'm the one right next to it that's covered in seagull shit." So like,
She loved it. She was like, ah.
She laughed.
Yeah.
It's called Fixius, which means putting to flight.
So Keanu Reeves.
Yeah. He invites her on, but she doesn't date players. He goes, what about the quarterback? She goes, especially the quarterbacks. You guys are the biggest babies of them all.
He's like, ouch.
Yeah. That night, Keanu's standing in an empty stadium. Gene Hackman walks up. He's like, what are you doing here? He goes, watching the game, coach. They talk for a little bit, and then Keanu goes, why me? And Hackman says, I look at you and I see two men. The man you are, the man you ought to be. One day those two men are going to meet. It's going to make for one hell of a football player.
And then they make out.
Yeah, that's been bad. Then he says, get some sleep, kiddo. You play professional football tomorrow.
Woo!
Now it's game day.
Game day.
Pat Summerall and John Madden called every one of the Washington Sentinels games.
Yeah.
That's like today if Tony Romo and Jim Nantz did every one of your team's games. Like, you don't get that lucky.
You don't.
You don't get the best ones doing your... Like, it just doesn't happen.
Nope.
Maybe one of them. They play a game on Thanksgiving night. I bet you John Madden and Pat Summerall would have done that one. Maybe another one in
Maybe
there.
if you're a Super Bowl prospect team.
No, not 4 in a row. The Chiefs don't get Tony Romo and Jim Nantz doing 4 games in a row.
All right.
Yeah. Doesn't happen.
Okay.
The Bucks don't.
But the replacements do.
Replacements, they got John Madden, Pat Summerall every game.
Iconic.
They're like their local radio people, apparently. Sumo guy is eating a huge bowl of hard-boiled eggs right before the game. Just shoveling them in his mouth.
There's something about this that's just... I don't even know how to say it. Like, his fat face with eating the fucking eggs.
And he's
like
not doing
stuffing
one
them.
at a time.
Yeah, he's doing 3 of them at a time.
Shoving a
like,
few in there.
Yeah, it is something, like, fucked up about it. I don't know what
It's like the movie Cool Hand Luke, where, fuck. Super famous actor who played Cool Hand Luke, whose name I am not going to remember.
I'm not going to remember.
It was a thing in prison. It was he ate like 100 hard-boiled eggs in an hour. Like that was the big part of it. It's a bizarre movie.
Yeah.
Where that's the big. They're like, let's not eat a bunch of eggs. Let's make that be the movie.
Yeah.
He eats a ton of eggs to earn prison respect.
Fuck yeah,
like,
dude.
Fucking, that was a movie back then. It was a great movie back then. People were like, this is one of the best.
Egg sales went through the fucking roof.
This is one of the best. Pause this real quick. I got to find out who played Cool Hand Luke. Paul Newman.
Paul Newman.
So Gene Hackman's addressing the team, and he tells them how people are saying you're not a real team. He's like, well, fuck them, and fuck you too.
Yeah.
I'm out. Now he's like, well, fuck them, all right? You're a professional football team. You're being paid to play football, and I want you guys to remember that, because the guys whose place you're taking forgot about that a long time ago.
Which one? Once again, they're just
a hammer. Like, fuck football players.
This writer was just like, I'm so done with my football team. This is how they make me feel.
Pat Summerall and John Madden are talking shit about Keanu Reeves, about how he shit the bed in the Sugar Bowl and then played real bad in Seattle. I'm guessing he played in the NFL for Seattle. And then they're at the tunnel and like they're getting ready to run out as a team. And John Favreau runs first. There is a wire across the front that seems to serve no purpose other than to trip him.
Yeah.
No
explanation.
Yeah, there's just a wire there.
And a very tight wire. Like, this thing doesn't not budge, and it's this big linebacker running full force.
He runs and trips over it and takes out a bunch of cheerleaders, and then the rest of the team goes out.
Yeah, and then Madden's like, oh, look at that. He took out half the cheerleading squad.
Oh, man. That's one way to start.
Yeah. He like says some cool, clever shit.
Game starts. Gene Hackman tells Keanu Reeves there can only be one leader out there. You be it. He goes out there immediately. Sumo guy and one of the Jackson brothers are fighting over their spot in the huddle. He's like, that's my spot. It's my spot. And, like, they're pushing each other. They're fighting back and forth, and Keanu tries to get involved, and one of them punches him in the head, and he hits the ground.
Yeah, and then it's a delay of game too, right?
Delay of game. Keanu then gets in there and kind of takes control. He's like, I'm the quarterback. I'm the only one who talks in the huddle.
But he was like so soft-spoken, I feel like, when he was saying
he's
it.
like, if you got something to say, raise your hand.
Yeah.
And then the sumo guy raises his hand and goes, what about if you don't feel good? or you're hurt or something. It was fucking bizarre. He's like, tell me before the play starts. And then he's like, says the play, and a guard goes, that's to the left, right? And the guy goes, nah, it's to the right. And then Keanu Reeves goes, it's to the left. And he's like,
that's the loudest thing he said.
He goes, quiet, man, they're gonna hear you. And then like the whistle blows, and it's another delay a game.
Yeah.
And then Old Mustache, owner, up in the box, says, I've seen monkey shit fights in the zoo that were more organized than this. And then they're running the play. Keanu's under center, and the linebacker says, I'm coming for your footsteps. And he's like, all right, that's scary. Snaps the ball, the linebacker blitzes, and
just demolishes.
It goes unblocked. Hits him, he fumbles. They recover it.
On the 2-yard line.
Yeah, they're in there. They're real close. The cheerleaders are spelling out Sentinels, and the one blonde cheerleader doesn't know what letter she's supposed to do.
She was like, I.
And the rest, no.
Oh, no, the part.
She goes, give me, and the rest of the cheerleaders go, I. And she goes, I.
That's what
she repeats them, yeah. The defensive coordinator calls in a play. He goes, Eagle over cover 4. And then Favreau, who's the middle linebacker leading the huddle, just goes 4-3 Jack. So does not call the correct play.
No, yeah.
And Favreau is out of his fucking mind. He's just screaming at the quarterback. He's like, I'm going to bury your mama. I'm back. I'm going to do it all. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you. This is football. And then he just runs before the play even starts, jumps over the line and hits the quarterback.
Play doesn't even start.
And yells, now that's football. Grabs him by the face mask and goes, you get it? You get it? You like it? And players like come and get him off, and he hits a player. Like, dude, he is fucking insane. And they
obviously they didn't have a rough start.
Yeah.
You know?
They throw a penalty, and he leaves the field. He's like, it's bullcrap, and leaves the field. John Madden goes, that's just a cheap shot. That should be worse than a penalty.
Reminds me of when I go offsides in the NFL or in the Madden game. Just knock people. That's how I do it.
It's a weird moment you took to brag about.
Me cheating in the
cheating and bad. Not even cheating, just getting penalties.
Actually,
you're like, yeah, it reminds me of like all the times I fuck dudes up in the Madden video game. Like I jump off sides and I just hit the players.
What's so
fucking psycho?
What's so funny is like that was like almost the cheat for like the majority of the Madden games growing up was if you are the defensive end or something like that, or if you're one of the people that are going against the wide receiver, like whether you're the linebacker or whatever, like if you take control, you could just hit them early before the ball gets there, and it's like they wouldn't fucking call like a penalty or anything. So that would be like the cheat code back in the day. So always hitting the wide receiver before that ball gets there.
There you go.
Yeah.
Detroit scores on the next play.
Yeah, like everyone saw that coming.
Yeah, the Sentinels are back on offense, and the sumo guy says he doesn't feel too good, and he starts puking. And then Clifford Franklin's like, we gotta go, we gotta get out of here. And he's like, what? No, shut the fuck up. And then he starts puking. He's like, I tried telling you, I can't be around people puking, or I'll start puking. Roy then, in sign language, says he's gonna puke. So they move the huddle. They all put their arms around each other, and he goes, hut, hut, hut. And then they start like moving to the side, like,
shimmying. Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you can hear that, but like real like choppy steps.
Yeah.
Moving over, and John Madden's like, I've never seen anything like that on a football field. That's crazy. And then next, Falco makes a sweet scramble and run. They do some plays. They kind of move downfield, and then John Madden's like, that last play got them in the field goal range. And then the Gruff's going out on the field, and Hackman stops him, and he goes, it's over the bar, not under. And he goes, okay. And then he goes out there and kicks a field goal. Favreau runs out there to celebrate the field goal and beats the shit out of the Gruff.
Yeah.
And Madden,
as he would.
Madden says, there's a rule in sports. Don't do anything great if you can't handle the congratulations. And Pat Summerall goes, there is? He's like, oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You didn't know?
Absolutely. Earl Wilkinson gets a pick six. His name in the game, his name on the field is Ray Smith because he's an inmate.
Yeah.
And John Madden's talking about him. He's like, I got no high school, no college, all it says is he's been a resident in the state of Maryland for the last 2 years and 2 months, and that he likes to embroider. It's like, that's all they got on this Ray Smith guy, but he's a hell of a football player out there. They're now down 4 in the red zone with 1:15 left, and Keanu fumbles the ball again.
Yep.
So defense going back on the field, and Gene Hackman stops John Favreau and goes, Danny, I want the ball. Get me the ball. He's like, you want the ball? Get you the ball. He's like, are you going to get me? He goes, they're fucking like screaming back and forth. He's like, I'm going to get the ball. He's like running out there. He's like, get the ball.
I'm going to get the ball.
Get the ball. Like just screaming at them. And Gene Hackman's like, I hope he doesn't kill somebody.
Yeah.
And he's like, get the ball. And they run. He bulldozes the fullback.
He makes a crazy blitz.
Then like bangs into the running back and just strips the ball from him, and then gets up. He's like, I got it!
Runs the ball over to him.
Over. He's like, Gene Hackman goes, you got me the ball. He goes, I got you the ball. I got you the ball. Yeah, I got you the ball. Like they scream, and then the whistle blows, and they're both just quiet, and they stare at the field. And then Gene Hackman goes, go sit down now, Danny. He goes, okay, coach.
Did I miss something? Why was his nose like broken?
He bleeds the whole movie.
That's what I'm saying.
That's just his thing.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the whole movie. His nose is bleeding.
Yeah. I was like, did I miss something? Or it's like, why does his nose keep fucking bleeding?
So now here's the thing. There was 1:15 left when Detroit got the ball back.
Yeah.
One play, he went and got the ball. And now, John Madden says, now that's an all Madden team play right there. They had to get as many plugs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, Madden is doing this.
Yeah.
The play call is DC right, zig, 90 eagle on 2. Keanu gets up there and gets nervous and audibles it to a run. Bible running back almost scores but gets stopped at the 1-yard line. Game over. Dude, so like when they get the ball back, at least a minute should be left on the clock still.
Yeah.
They could have run several plays in that time. They could have done the run, get down to the 1-yard line, go down, fucking either clock it or run a play.
Yeah.
And be like there's so much
anything
time.
that falls back on the coaching.
Yeah, there's so much time. They're down at the 1 with like 45 seconds left by the time they get to the line of scrimmage.
Unless
they can either run a play or spike the ball.
No, yeah.
There is so much time for them to score still.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
I don't
get
it either.
Game's over.
And then also, like, after the game, they're trying to make it so what's his name is trying to the head coach is trying to make it seem as if Keanu Reeves was scared to do something else in that play. It seemed like he made the right decision in that play, even though they ended a little short.
So, I mean, but you throw it in that scenario. You're 20 yards out. You don't.
But I thought,
and the running back like broke a tackle in the backfield and then made another guy miss 5 yards down the field.
No, yeah.
Like it was an insane
Wasn't there
effort
like a
for him
guy
to get down
right
to the
on his
1.
back to where he had to like pitch the ball out to him?
No, so he audibled the play. We're spending way too much time on this shit. It's gonna be like a 4-hour podcast. We're on game 1. There's 4 of these fucking games we got to do.
Yeah.
He audibled it, but like they've never played together. They've been together for 4 days. Like he turns to hand it off, and the running back isn't in the right spot. Reminds me of in practice, Cardinal Newman High School.
Oh, shit.
I was a JV quarterback, and we called. It was either 33 belly or 34 belly, and I opened up to the left, and the run's supposed to be to the right, and I yelled, "Fuck!" And then what you're supposed to do is just call out a fire. Go fire. And then the team knows, all right, broken play. David's keeping the ball, block for David, so we can get something out of this.
Yeah.
Instead, I yelled, fuck, and then just flipped it to Devontae, who was the running back. Devontae, whoa, what the fuck? And then, like, ran, and he was fucking good. He made something out of it. But, like, that was the only time Steve Walsh legitimately yelled at me. He's like, I don't care that you fucked the play up. What are you doing tossing it to him, you asshole? Like... He's like, that's how we lose the ball.
So that play reminded you of that.
Reminded me of that. He's like, you just fucking, you tuck it and run.
Yeah.
It's like, tuck it and run. He's like, no, next play. He's like, next play, just fuck it up. We're going over a fire call. You're going to learn how to do this. I was like, it's fair.
All right, yeah. Makes sense.
But yeah, it was great. It was a good toss. Good toss, and Devontae got yards.
Yeah.
I argued. I was like, I made the right play. All right? Devontae fucking got something out of that. No other quarterback here can make something out of that shit.
Yeah.
I did.
You try, Steve.
But yeah, so Hackman's like, if I wanted the running back to run, I would have fucking called that play. And he just keeps saying, I read blitz. He's like, bullshit, you got scared. He goes, I read blitz. And then he stops and says,
winners always want the ball. Right?
When the game's on the line.
When the game's on the line.
You gotta get it all. The cheerleader smiles at Keanu Reeves, but he just kind of drops his head in shame and keeps walking.
Yeah.
We're at a bar, and Clifford Franklin plays I Will Survive. First I was afraid, I was petrified.
You know, they get some good songs in this film. I'm not gonna lie.
They do not disappoint.
No.
Plays that, and the louder of the two Jackson brothers hates that. And he's like, well, someone turn this shit off. And the guy hits the jukebox, and it plays something else. The gruff says, face it, boys, we screwed the pooch tonight. And then Eddie Martell and the other players walk in. And he goes, ladies and gentlemen, you're Washington Sentinels. And they're all clapping. And then he starts making fun of the deaf guy. He's like, you couldn't even hear the boos. You're the luckiest guy in the stadium. He's like, hello, anybody home? He's like screaming, like fucking with him because he's deaf. Keanu walks up, tells him to lay off. Roy hands him a note. Roy's the deaf guy.
Yeah.
That calls Martell an asshole. And Martell punches Keanu Reeves in the face. And he's like, oh, calm down, guys. And John Favreau's standing over in the corner. He goes, hey, Danny, remember what I said to you about red shirts in practice? He goes, yeah. He goes, forget about it. And then he punches Martell in the face, who Martell's wearing a red shirt. And then John Favreau runs in and just fucks him up.
Yeah.
For a while, he's fucking him up. A big...
well, they all start fighting.
Yeah, a big brawl ensues. And this poor woman who is sitting at a table ends up being a fucking casualty. One of them... fucking like one of the offensive linemen bangs into a dude, and like a table of women just gets taken out by him. Like fucks them all up. The gruff is there's a guy coming out. He's like, come on, stop! And then he kicks him in the balls and says, let's play football, bitch. Great part in the movie.
Oh yeah.
Clifford Franklin is hiding behind the jukebox. The running back is like he's reciting Bible verses as he's beating a dude up, and then goes Ezekiel 21:31, and the sumo guy is sitting on a guy's head with his hands up in the air, and he's screaming non-disco. It's just Japanese, but that's what he's saying.
And then one of the brothers, he just takes one of the guys and just like throws him across the bar. And as you're watching it was kind of like, it was like half-assed done because the guy's like moving his arm and he's breaking all the glass. But then he like stops at the end of the bar. Like doesn't like fully like throw him off.
Well, we didn't want to hurt the guy. All right? This is a movie, Braden. They're actors. You didn't want that guy to get hurt.
It just kind of seemed like it ended kind of weird. I was like, you're going to drag him across the bar and be like, all right, dude, you're good now.
So all the replacement players are in jail. The regular players didn't get arrested.
Right.
Favreau is fucking with Wilkinson. He's like, I figured this would be a homecoming for you. He's like, oh, you want to be a funny man? And Keanu's like, come on, can't we all just get along, guys? And then they all laugh.
Literally, yeah.
And they talk about the big sumo guy sitting on that dude's head, and they all go, non-disco! They all start screaming that. Clifford Franklin goes, yeah, he wasn't the only one who banged some guys tonight, huh? And they're like, oh, you were the man tonight, Clifford Franklin. And the gruff's like, you were hiding behind the jukebox the whole time. And he goes, at first, Clifford Franklin admitted, I was afraid. Shit, I was petrified. And Keanu Reeves goes, you were petrified? He goes, just thinking I could never live without you by my side. But then I spent so many nights thinking how you did me wrong. And I grew strong. And I learned how to get along, and so you're back from outer space. He's singing that whole song, and all of the players join in on it. They're dancing with him in the cell.
Honestly, up until this point, I was like, bro, what the fuck is going on? Like, this movie's got some good parts, whatever, but like, what the fuck? And then I was like, you know what? starting to like this film.
Them singing "I Will Survive" and all dancing in unison.
Yeah.
Even Roy.
Yeah.
Roy's deaf and like he picked up on what was going on. He's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm in.
Yeah.
Like,
Woo. There we
think of
go.
how hard that would be for him to be like, all right, yeah, we're dancing now.
Yeah.
All right, I'm in. Like, he had no warning that was about to happen. He didn't know he was singing that song. He just jumped in. He's like, yep, everyone's dancing. Gene Hackman walks down. There's like stairs next to the jail cell and walks down, and everyone slowly notices him, and except for Roy, who's deaf, and he keeps dancing, and then they stop him. And Gene Hackman goes, I just want you to know, if anything like this bar fight happens again, there won't be room on this team for any of you. Do I make myself clear? They go, yes, coach. And he says, for the record, I would have loved to have been there to see Martell get his ass kicked. Let's go, boys. And they're like, yeah, let's do it. The cheerleader comes to visit Keanu Reeves on the boat. Keanu's still doing his day job because he doesn't want to lose his customers, so he's still scraping barnacles.
Yeah. He's like, I don't want to lose my customers over this time, basically.
Which, good for him.
Oh, yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. She talks about the fight and offers him a ride, but he got his truck back, he said. And she talks about it. She's like, oh, you guys are starting to click on offense, blah, blah, blah. And then she goes to leave, and she's like, oh, look at that. You get fucking bruised there. And she rubs wild yam on it, because that's going to help with muscle bruising, I guess. And she's giving him the fuck me eyes while she's doing it.
My God.
Like her hands are all over
caressing him, not
she's
fucking rubbing that
just
shit
fucking
on.
staring at him.
Yeah,
She's like,
and he's staring at her. And
she's like, you're going to fuck my slutty little mouth later, Shane Falco. That much is guaranteed.
And obviously, like, why else did she fucking show up?
She then, while she's doing it, she goes, you know, you're the first player I can remember that cares more about his teammates than himself. That's something this team's been missing for a long time. Like, she's just fucking so in.
I also find it a little
so
weird that
much
she knows so
sexual
much
tension.
about the team.
We find out about that.
No, yeah. Yeah, we do.
Tons of sexual tension. And then she says that she works at a bar because she only makes $50 per game cheerleading. So you know what? Cheerleaders absolutely should go on strike.
No, yeah, I've heard they get paid barely
$50
shit.
a game is nothing.
Yeah, I mean, maybe not now.
That's
but,
and they only do the home games. That's $400 a season.
yeah,
Hardly seems worth it.
yeah, for sure.
Hardly
Like, how much
and-
time you
and-
spend in it?
And it's like a full day's work for the
No,
game.
yeah.
It's not like they just show up at game time and they're ready.
Yeah,
No, it's said is so much.
yeah.
To make $400 a year? Fuck that. Cheerleaders
Fuck that.
Cheerleaders should be on strike, and this little fucking cunt is a scab. The cheerleaders are in unity with the players. So like, we make $50 a game. Are you fucking kidding me? And she's like, I just love cheerleading.
I'm gonna bring on strippers.
Yeah, I'm gonna get strippers, and we're gonna do it for $50 a game.
Yeah,
Yeah, like fuck her.
come on.
Fuck her.
And trying to use leverage on Falco.
Yeah.
Come on.
Fuck her. Back at the stadium, the players flip Keanu Reeves' truck again. They're all there, and they're like, yeah, but flip it, whatever. The two guards show up.
Oh,
and they're like, we
yeah.
got this. And the one dude, he's the guy. The one brother keeps saying he's in couples retreat
Yeah.
with John Favreau.
Yep.
Believe it or not, he's the black guy who's dating the real young black girl.
Yep.
And okay, Braden's phone was buzzing. It was buzzing. He looked at
It
it,
was buzzing.
and then he hit me like a fuck them
Yeah, I don't know. What it
face.
is. Fuck it.
We're good. And he's like, "You want to flip the car back?" And they're like, "Nah, we're good." He's like, "This doesn't concern you." He goes, "Shane does concern us. We're the guards. We protect our quarterback." And they all laugh. And he goes, "Oh, that's funny." And then he pulls out a gun and starts shooting the windshield of Martell's Porsche. And he goes, "That's my windshield. That's my windshield, you crazy mother." And the guy goes, guy calls, he goes, "Flip the car back." And the other guy goes, "You son of a bitch." And he goes,
I'm a son of a bitch.
"Son of a bitch, son of a bitch," and then shoots the driver window. And then Martell's like, "All right, God damn it, help me, guys!" And they flip the truck back.
Yeah.
And they walk in with Shane. So it's like, yeah, we got your back. You're our quarterback.
Yeah.
We got this shit.
How it should be.
They're having a team meeting, and Leo tells all the players they need to turn in their guns. He's like, "You guys have guns, you need to turn them in." And then it's just quiet for a second. He's like, "All right," and Gene Hackman wanted to talk to you guys. And Gene Hackman writes fear up on the board and says, "It takes a real man to admit their fears." And Clifford Franklin goes, "I'm afraid of spiders, coach."
And they all are like,
they're all like, oh, shit, yeah, spiders.
Oh,
like,
man.
So I'm talking about your fears on the field. It's like, you mean
No,
like
no,
spiders?
no.
And he's like, what you mean, like spiders on the field? Yeah. And then the guard goes, I'm afraid of bees. And I'll go, bees? Bees? He's like, yeah, bees. And then Keanu Reeves goes, quicksand. And Clifford Franklin goes, oh, man, quicksand is a scary mother. You got to get sunk in it. If you scream, you get all that muck in your mouth. And Gene Hackman's like, I don't think that's what he's talking about. He's like, what you mean, coach? He goes, why don't you ask him? And he turns around and goes, what's up, Shane? Just like that.
What's going on, man?
And he says, you're playing, and one thing goes wrong, and then another, and things keep going wrong. And the harder you fight, the harder you sink, because you're in over your head, like quicksand. And then Hackman again asks what everyone is afraid of, and then it's all like Clifford Franklin's like, going back to the mini mart, and then guy goes, going back to the auto yard. Wilkerson goes, prison. So it's all like, we're replacement players. Our fear is this being over and us going back to our real lives.
Oh.
It was like a real deep thing. And Hackman tells them they've been given a second chance, and they're afraid to blow it.
Boom.
Now let's take that fear and put it into San Diego!
Woo! And everyone starts going wild.
So then we cut straight. They're in the middle of the San Diego game. They're down 16-0. And
I love that.
and all-pro defensive end Hank Morris just got his third sack. And Keanu Reeves then in the huddle goes, same play, but this time let Morris through. And they're like, it's 16-0 already. He's like, I said let him through. So they let Morris through, and Keanu Reeves just pegs Morris in the face with the football. And Roy runs over and fucks Morris up. And then the sumo guy catches it and goes, holy shit! And by the way, so like anyone who watched the Dolphins-Ravens game on Thursday night would be like, well, Robert Hunt caught the ball and ran and scored a touchdown, but it didn't count. What the hell? This one hit off a defender. So legally, it's a loose ball at that point. Yeah, it's like if ball gets tipped, there can't be pass interference after that point.
Yeah.
If a defensive lineman tips the ball and you're a linebacker and it's going to go to the tight end, you fuck him up before the ball gets there.
Yeah.
Because it's tip ball. It's fucking loose ball, fair play. So sumo guy catches it and starts running, and the coach is yelling, jump on his back, which is not
The
good
opposite.
tackling and not how you get a big guy down.
No, yeah, you go for the ankles.
Yeah, hit him low. He
Yeah.
can't he won't be able to
Top heavy,
balance.
yeah.
But they'll jump on his back. And they all jump on his back, and sumo guy falls in the end zone with a bunch of people. John Madden goes, Fumiko scores! Fumiko scores! And then says, man, I love it when a fat guy scores.
Oh, yeah.
Pat Summerall goes, why? Which is crazy. But,
yeah.
but who doesn't? Who doesn't? Robert Hunt, that touchdown didn't count. That was the Dolphins dominated that game. That was the best part of the game.
Yeah.
Was Robert Hunt catching it and running and diving in the end zone.
Yeah.
But John Madden goes, because then you get a fat guy spike, and he spikes the ball, and then you get a fat guy dance, and they're all doing like a sumo stomp thing.
Yeah.
Like all the fat guys are doing it together.
Woo!
Hackman tells Falco, he's like, maybe we should add that to the playbook. The cheerleaders, they're getting so sexual. They're grinding up on each other and grabbing each other's asses to the point the opposing team just can't pay attention.
Yeah.
And it's a false start on all of them. They weren't in it.
And I love that because I'm like, that should be the real purpose of cheerleading.
Absolutely.
Like that should be the main reason.
By the way, while they're doing this, the crowd is nothing but just fucking white trash hicks.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh yeah.
Yeah. They're all
they're like
masturbating.
holding money out. They're like, oh please, I'll give you my house. Just please let me grab your ass once.
Yeah.
like it's just fucking disgusting what's going on in the crowd. Earl Wilkinson gets another interception. This dude's a fucking monster. Then the play, 98 shake. Keanu rolls to his right, even though he's a left-handed quarterback, and hits Roy for a TD.
Yep.
He gets knocked out of bounds when he does that throw and lands right next to the cheerleader, and they have a moment, and they look, and then he looks and sees that they score a touchdown. She says, not bad, Falco. And gets up and goes out on the field. They do an onside kick. This is maybe the thing I have the most issue with in this entire fucking movie.
Elaborate.
They do an onside kick, and guess who's on the kicking team? Their fucking quarterback. There is no scenario
ever
where he's a good. They're like, oh no, we want to have our quarterback out there.
He's very fast.
Even the Ravens, where Lamar Jackson's the best athlete on the team, they're like, no, we're not putting our quarterback out there.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
But these are replacements, David.
Yeah. Favreau recovers the kick, and he's just running back and forth, and he's running timeout. Time's running out, so Falco tackles him.
Yeah.
And Favreau goes, nice hit, Shane! Nice hit! And then, another issue I have, this movie doesn't get football.
Yeah, it doesn't.
They call timeout after that.
Yeah.
Immediately. The clock doesn't run after a kickoff.
Yeah.
The clock stops until the ball fucking snaps on the first play. Gene Hackman burns their last timeout.
Yeah, and I was thinking that, and I wasn't educated enough to know, but I'm like, I thought it was, and I'm like, why is he calling a timeout? Maybe I didn't know. I questioned myself.
No, calls timeout. And then Hackman's like, all right, we're going to try to get in field goal range. Let's just do like one throw, and you got to get out of bounds because we don't have any timeouts because I just wasted it. And Nigel Gruff, the kicker, goes, give me a shot, coach. And he goes, you're looking at a 65-yard field goal. And he looks at Keanu Reeves and goes, you just hold it, and I'll kick the bloody piss out of it. And Hackman looks at Keanu, and Keanu goes, what the hell? He goes, what the hell? Kicking team, get out there! And they go out, and he's smoking on the field. Madden calls him out. He's like, I think he's smoking. Pat Summerall's like, it's just your imagination. He's like, no, I'm looking at it. I see the smoke and everything. He's smoking a cigarette out there.
Yeah, and then they get like a
flicks
close-up.
the cigarette.
They get like a close-up on him, and you could just clearly see this man smoking.
The money guys from earlier, they see him on the TV. And they're like, look who it is. They're like, well, if he wants to keep his pub, he's going to have to start blowing some kicks. And they're like, yeah. And they're all doing the like knuckle sandwich thing. And he fucking hits a 65-yard field goal to win the game. And Favreau's going crazy. He's chasing after him, and he runs away from Favreau like throughout the field. So that night at the bar that the cheerleader works at, there's guys sitting in there, and the TV's showing a guy talking about how awesome replacement players are and how it's not a bunch of millionaires whining over making $4 million instead of $5 million because we just got to keep saying, NFL players make too much money. People are like, look at, I hate that argument where your teams are like, dude, like, yeah, the Patriots are so good, like, because Tom Brady kept taking pay cuts. Like, I don't understand why these quarterbacks don't take pay cuts. But yeah, well, Tom Brady has a wife who makes more money than him.
Yeah.
Tom Brady's married to the highest paid supermodel in the world.
Yeah.
Tom Brady can take a pay cut. Be fine.
Well, and
fucking
he's gonna
Pat Mahomes is like, oh, no, I want to have generational wealth. I want my kids and my grandkids to be taken care of. I'm going to sign the biggest contract possible.
And when you're
I don't owe the fucking Chiefs anything.
No, yeah.
He's like, I want my family to be taken care of.
But once when you're like a very solidified, famous quarterback, you're going to get so many other avenues, revenues, and money that...
Or you marry the highest paid supermodel in the world.
That too.
Like, Tom Brady was making, like, it was $18 million. Like, and that's a pay cut.
Yeah.
Which is bizarre, but, like,
So,
fuck yeah, good for him. But his wife was making, like, $40 million those years. Like he could have not worked.
Been fine.
And they'd have been all right.
Down.
Yeah, like, that's the thing. Like, it's fine.
Yeah.
The cheerleader then is kicking the last two patrons out of the bar, and Keanu shows up, and she's like, we're closed, and then sees Tim's like, oh, yeah, come on in. The guy's like, come on in, buddy. And she's like, not you. You guys leave. And the one guy goes, you're Shane Falco. It's like, good going, man. You guys kicked ass today.
Yeah.
So they're sitting there, and she's being a little fucking bitch, honestly. She's like, oh, this was my dad's bar, and then he died. My dad died. How sad is that? He was such a big fan. He would have loved watching you guys, but he's dead, so he can't. Like just fuck her. She's like, well, do you feel bad for me because I have a dead dad? Do you feel bad?
I got to run the ball all by myself now?
Yeah, my dad left me at the bar, but he's dead. How sad is that? Like, fuck her. Fuck her. As they're kind of wrapping up, Every Breath You Take by the Police is playing quietly in the background, which turns out, I looked it up. I thought the song was just by Sting. but it's the
I'm
full,
sure they got.
it's the full Police. No,
Yeah.
so Sting's the lead singer of the Police.
No, yeah.
He also had a solo career. I thought this was just his song, kind of like how fucking just like the white winged bird sing song sounds like she's singing. Whoo, baby, whoo, yeah, whoo. It's just Stevie Nicks.
Yeah.
It's not Fleetwood Mac. Yeah, like that. Like that. That's just Stevie. I thought this was just Sting. But
Yeah.
no, it's the Police. Good on the Police. You know?
Good on the Police.
And like as he's leaving, and he's like, "Oh, you coming? You gonna be at the game in fucking wherever they're going, Phoenix?" And she's like, "No, we don't travel with the team." He's like, "Oh, well, can I see you when I get back?" And she's like, "Yeah." And then he awkwardly kisses her on the cheek, and then
Keanu
he's
Reeves
leaving.
style.
As he gets to the door, the police starts getting way louder.
Oh yeah.
And then John Madden and Pat Summerall are giving a play-by-play. Pat Summerall's like, "What do you do here, John?" He's like, "You go for it. You have to." And then you hear the crowd going, "Foul, go, foul, go, foul, go." He's like, "Foul," but this defense has been shutting him down all night. He's like, "Well, this is where if you're Shane Falco, you pull out the big stop and you go in and you make your move." And then he leans in and starts making out with the cheerleader. It's like they're doing that as they're walking up.
Yeah.
And they start making out.
And then they cut to him fucking scoring a touchdown.
So John Madden, before they cut to that, John Madden's yelling, "Falco scores!"
Yeah, exactly.
"Falco scores!" And then they cut to him. He just rushed for a TD. John Madden. And then this scene. So like this scene right here, you did a huge disservice to yourselves and to the viewer if you didn't have this scene in here, because this is why you had John Madden in this movie.
Yeah.
John Madden, he's breaking down the play and he's drawing all over the board, and he's like, "This guy's gonna go here, boink, and the ball's gonna go there, boom!" Like just doing it. It's fucking what John Madden did his whole career. And
Yeah.
It's like this is why you have John Madden in the movie, to have this scene be part of it. He's like, and then the guy who started the play, Falco, ends up getting the touchdown right here. Boom.
Boom.
Like, boom. Next play, Keanu hits Clifford Franklin deep, but Clifford Franklin drops it.
Because he ain't got no hands.
Ain't got no hands. And then Gene Hackman calls timeout on an incomplete pass because he's such a great... Oh, by the way, he's dressed like... So all the other coaches are wearing like Sentinels gear and headsets and stuff. He's dressed like fucking...
Like he's at a horse fucking race or something.
So he's dressed like fucking Lombardi. He's wearing like a fucking Trent, like a fucking coat and jacket and tie and a hat. Like he looks like an old school coach. Because you're like, oh, he's the old school coach. This is how he's going to dress. Not like a normal coach. He's going to dress like that and not really be a good coach. He's going to call timeout when the clock's already stopped.
Because some dude dropped the ball.
Yeah, but he has Clifford Franklin come over and he puts stickum all over his hands and his hand looks greasy. Braden, what does Clifford Franklin say he looks like?
He says, "Man, I look like I just jerked off a horse."
No!
What do you mean?
He says, "Man, I look like I jacked off an elephant."
Oh my god, dude. I was thinking horse dick, elephant dick. I mean, they're about the same size, so that's probably what.
I doubt it. I don't know that I've ever seen an elephant dick.
Dude, it's fucking... It's just as ridiculous as a horse dick.
That's what I'm saying. I think
it's skimming the ground.
I think proportionately.
Probably
like
the
an elephant,
elephant
it's going to be bigger.
Yeah.
An elephant is twice the size of a horse.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a bigger dick.
It's crazy.
He's like, "Coach, you know this don't look natural. You know it don't." And then he's like out on the field and he has the cup stuck on his hands, and Keanu grabs the cup and throws it on the ground. And then they call the play and they go break and they clap, and his hands get stuck together just like Rashid Hot Hands Hannon in John Madden's other best movie, The Little Giants.
Yeah.
When Hot Hands puts the stickum on, then he claps and his hands are stuck. But Clifford Franklin gets his hands off way easier.
Maybe
than
Madden
Hot
just
Hands
really
could.
liked that part. He's like, "Can we just..."
Can we add the hot
just
hands
add
part
it?
with Clifford Franklin, please?
Yeah.
Be great.
Yeah.
The camera angle here sucks.
Yeah.
Because it shows them, it looks like they're at like the 10, and then it looks like they're
at
backed
the
up in their
fucking-
own end
Yeah,
zone,
exactly.
and then it ends up they're at like midfield.
Yeah.
But like it's all over the place where they are in the field. You have no idea.
Yeah.
And he throws deep to Clifford Franklin, and he catches it this time.
Yeah.
And now, so they're down.
1 point.
They're down by 1 point, and John Madden goes, "Now conventional wisdom here," or no, Pat Summerall says, "Conventional wisdom here says kick the extra point, go into overtime." And then John Madden goes, "But Willie McGinty is anything but conventional. And he's like, we're going to go for 2! And
So
they go
that's
out
like
there.
if Madden and if they're just so able to see the type of coach he is, don't you think the other coach is going to know that too? You know, it's like it's almost like
Well, I mean, you can know they're going for 2, but it's still stopping it. You don't know what play he's
yeah,
running. You don't know. Yeah.
but seems more predictable than even conventional.
I mean, it's unconventional to go for 2 and
No,
win
yeah,
the
yeah.
game instead of just kicking it, going for
Oh
overtime.
yeah.
Putting it all on one play, that's very unconventional.
Yeah.
But also, the clock ran during the 2-point conversion. There were 2 seconds left on the clock. And then, like, time expired during the 2-point conversion, which just, again, like, the replacements have the clock be at 0 and be like, oh, there's, like just for, like, a fucking football fan watching it, and they can be like, oh, yeah, no, that's how that would have happened.
Yeah.
The clock wouldn't run during the 2-point conversion. They could have had... Dude, I was 5 when this movie came out. They could have had me as a consultant on this movie, and I would have just pointed out these little things that would have gave them more credibility. Now I don't believe that Gene Hackman could be an NFL coach.
Madden's turning in his fucking grave.
Yeah, like there's no way... but, like, they could have asked John Madden, like, hey, what happens in 2-point conversion? Like, oh, the clock would have to be at 0 for the game to be over.
Yeah.
They would have to do a kickoff if there were 2 seconds on the clock.
Yeah.
Like, they could have just asked him little questions like this, and he would have made... But no. They just said, no, we know how football works.
It's just some writer that fucking hates a certain team. That's
He's
just
like,
trying
we
to-
know how this works. We got it. And they go for 2. Falco throws what should be intercepted, but it gets tipped, and Clifford Franklin catches it, and then does a gun celebration with the football that ends in suicide.
Yeah.
He, like, shoots everyone with the fake football gun, and then he puts it to his head and shoots himself and falls. Dark.
Very dark.
Very dark turn.
Talks about a lot of that character.
Yeah,
ask
Clifford
me.
Franklin fucking suicidal. Doesn't want to go back to the mini-mart. He'd rather die than go back to the mini-mart.
Yeah, and it kind of makes sense with what he ends up doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So they're in the back now, and what's his name? The Walsh,
The Gruff.
the Gruff. The first thing he does is he runs back and he just
He goes, ole, 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 hey!
and it just moons. It's
No.
not moon though. Yeah, it's not mooning.
He exposes
He's
his
exposed-
cock and balls
yeah,
to his teammates.
Yeah. I was trying to find like a
He pulls
a decent
open
way.
his towel and shows him his dick and balls, and then like covers up and
So this
scurries
is,
off. He's
this
like,
is like
"Ah!"
one of the first of a couple weird instances with him. And then we find out right after that, like literally right after that, there's a female reporter in there
Yeah.
who probably saw his junk, and then walks over to Keanu Reeves and was asked him a question, and then Keanu Reeves was like, well, I think you should talk to Clifford over here. He's the real hero. And then David, I know you got it.
Clifford does not disappoint.
Does not.
She's
disappoint.
talking about how he's like, man, we just began to scratch the surface on Clifford Franklin. He's like, how about you guys are playing Dallas this Thursday? It's got to be different. She's like, oh, baby, that's just the same story, different chapter. You see, the football is like a one-man cold to Clifford Franklin. Clifford Franklin, the only one catching it. Clifford Franklin, the only one coming down with it. He did not disappoint at all.
Repeats Clifford Franklin like 20 times.
John Favreau walks by and shoves Clifford Franklin into his locker.
And then just looks at the camera as he walks by.
And then the Gruff, he's smoking a cigarette, holding a beer, standing there in his tighty whities.
Grabbing
Goes,
his junk.
ole, 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 ole. Hey, cheers, bitch.
Yeah.
To the reporter lady.
And she's all right.
She's like, I think we got it.
Yeah.
Old Mustache has Gene Hackman come visit him. He goes, to victory!
Yeah.
And Gene Hackman goes, what are you smiling about? What do you got? And he's like, I got good news. Martell crossed the line. He's going to be your quarterback. And he goes, I'm still sticking with Falco. And he's like, no, you're not. He's like, he's like, did you watch that fucking game today? Falco should have thrown 4 interceptions. You're not going to beat Dallas with him.
Yeah.
Eddie, you owe it to the rest of those guys to give them the best chance to win. He's like, you're a real son of a bitch, you know that? And he leaves. He's not happy, but he's like, I got to play Martell.
Yeah. And this guy's the fucking owner.
Hackman then goes and finds
Keanu Reeves.
He's thrown. He doesn't look good in the
Doesn't.
scene either. It'd be one thing if he was like fucking nailing the throws.
Yeah, but he like lob. It was like a bullshit
He's lobbing,
lob.
and he's missing the little pockets in the
Yeah.
net. He's just hitting the net. Like, all right, these are bad throws, Keanu.
Yeah.
These are bad throws, and he's like working for Dallas. And he's like, I can be in that same situation. They like to bring their safeties to put the pressure on you. So I want to get it over the top. Like he's breaking that stuff down, and Hackman just goes, Martell crossed. He's starting on Thursday. And Falco goes, well, all right, I mean, it's what's best for the team. You know, Martel, he is the best. The guy's got it all. And Ackerman goes, no, he doesn't have heart.
Yeah.
You do.
Yeah.
They hug and go their separate ways. Martel then finds Falco in the locker room, and he's like, it's terrible what they do to you, man. They make you think you're better than you really are just to pull the rug out from under you. Like,
They just build you up with hope, and they just tear you down.
the worst thing they could give to guys like you is hope. And he's like, you're a real class act, Martel.
Real
Take
class
care of
act.
my guys. And he's
Yeah.
walking out, and Martel goes, she deserves better. You're a sinking ship, Shane. Don't bring her down with you. Martel knows about the fucking
Which is weird.
cheerleader.
Yeah.
Cheerleader captain kicks the two old dudes out of the bar again, says she has a date. All the players are at a club. They're celebrating. One of the stripper cheerleaders signs to Roy, because he's deaf, that she wants to suck his dick.
Well, he was like looking at her like, you're really pretty.
He does like,
Giving, like a-
babe, I don't know what sign language is, but
Yeah,
it had
he's
something to do
trying
with
to
his face.
yeah.
And then she signs back, I want to suck your dick.
So he's like, all right.
He's like, whoa. The gruff then shows his dick to just a group of women.
So yeah, he's teaching them how to sing the song.
Ole, 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 ole.
And then the moment,
ole.
and then it's just like out of nowhere, he's like, "Hey, you girls want to see something?" Just like fucking
Pulls it out.
unzip.
He's
Yeah.
like, and he's like flopping it back and forth.
Yeah, and they're
It's
all,
not
they all-
okay.
Yeah, they all scream, and then Keanu Reeves walks in.
Keanu Reeves walk in. The gruff goes, "Oh, ladies and gentlemen, number 16 in your playbook, in your programs, number 1 in your heart, our quarterback Shane Falco," and everyone cheers. And they do a shot together, and the gruff's like, "What's wrong?" And he goes, "Martel crossed. He's gonna be playing with you guys Thursday." And he's like, fuck. He's like, "When are you telling the rest of the guys?" He's like, I don't want to ruin that. He's like, no, fuck that. He's like, "Cut the music." He's like, "Shane has something to say." And Shane goes, "Yeah, this Thursday you're gonna be playing with the best quarterback in the league." And they go, "Damn right, yeah."
Woo! Yeah.
And he goes, "Martel, he crossed," and everyone's just quiet and sad. And then the Bible running back goes, "A toast to Shane Falco, our quarterback, our leader, and most of all, our friend. To you, Shane." And they all do the toast.
Yeah.
And then Blinded by Rainbows by the Rolling Stones starts playing. You know, bro.
yeah.
Blinded by rainbows, watching the wind blow. That starts playing as Keanu Reeves just stands up, the cheerleader, because I guess he's like, Martel was right. She deserves better. I'm a sinking ship, not dragging her down. And he just stands her up, and she has like fucking candles lit and stuff. Like, she was fucking about it.
Yeah.
And then,
But what a piece of shit thing to do. Like, even if you do think that way because some asshole made you feel that way, you don't just stand her up. You let her know, like, "Hey, listen, I'm not good enough for you.
yeah, I'm not good enough. All right.
Sorry, I'm going to have to call this date off."
Or you call and say, "Hey, I'm not really feeling up to it. You know,
Yeah,
I just found out that I will no longer live out my dream as an NFL quarterback.
Yeah.
So I maybe some other time, but
What's he do instead?
yeah, I wouldn't be fun. He just nothing.
Nothing.
Just like sits on the hood of his car and listens to Rolling Stones.
What a piece of shit.
It's game night. We Will Rock You's playing at the stadium. John
good
Madden
song.
was really looking forward to seeing Falco play. Mm-hmm. I never thought I'd say, I'm missing these replacement games. The home crowd boos Martel as he comes out. They're in Washington, so he's the home team's quarterback, and he gets booed as he comes out. Martel gets sacked because the O-line does a horrible job blocking, and they blame Martel as if it was his fault, which is baffling to me.
Yeah, they're like, you need a roll.
Yeah, he's like, "You try scrambling a little bit."
Yeah.
like just fucking block.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And they make it seem like he should have scrambled. Falco would have scrambled. Like, it's crazy. Like, block.
Yeah.
Do your fucking job.
You're supposed to create the pocket.
Clifford Franklin asks one of the players on Dallas's defense for their autograph after the game. He's like, "You want it? You got it, scab." And then the ball
just
snaps, and the
fucking-
guy goes and fucks Clifford Franklin
Like
up.
WWE style.
Yeah. and like stomps on his chest. Like, it was crazy. Bible running back fumbles.
Like, the dude would be kicked out of the game. Like, that would have just helped them so much.
Kick someone. So he kicks it, stomps on his chest while he's on the ground. You get suspended for that. Like, it's not okay. Bible running back fumbles, and then Dallas scores on the next play. Martell and Roy are not on the same page.
Martell looks like his back is fucking broken. He keeps holding his fucking hips and shit.
He keeps getting hit because he got a fucking shitty line. Roy, he calls a play, and he's like, it was like something right. It was like the play was like ZR, slant right, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And Roy went to the left, and he threw to the right. Like, seems like Martell's correct.
Yeah.
He just handles it like an asshole. He's like, I want you to go right. The play is ZRX7 right. You're going left. I want you to go right. He's like yelling at him because he's fucking deaf. And he's like, can you understanding this? And then the next play.
Don't they almost get like in a tussle for like a second?
Yeah, Roy goes after him. And players step in between.
Okay.
The next play, Martell throws it to Roy across the middle. Roy catches it but gets fucked up and fumbles it. And he's like, looks like he has a concussion. He's like, eyes are glazed over. He's being helped off the field. And Martell walks over to him and goes, nice hands. And then just walks off.
Yeah.
Crazy. Dallas scores again. And it's 17-0. The guys who the Gruff owes money to, they show up in the crowd, and they're doing the stoner bashing time gesture.
Just fucking looking at him.
And the Gruff, like, sees them and then, like, turns and puts his hood up on his jacket and pretends he doesn't see them.
But you know what I just, remembered that like when I was watching this is, you know what a big part of this is? The cheerleaders aren't doing their job. They're not shaking their asses.
Dallas is in the zone. They're not being distracted by them.
Exactly. That's what I was saying. I was like, this is falling back on the cheerleaders.
Yeah. They needed the real cheerleaders to cross.
Yeah.
They're still striking.
Yeah, they're making that money.
Martell then throws a ball way out of bounds. Like 30 feet out of bounds. Doesn't even make
sense. Why?
And he comes over the side, and Hackman's like, what the hell was that all about? And Martell goes, I call the plays out on the field, not you. Hackman goes, that's not the way I coach. He goes, I don't give a shit, because that's the way I play. Puts his hat on.
Reminds me of a little AB action.
Not at all. Not at all. That's a tough pull you just made.
Well, that's what I heard. Is that
they're walking off the field. AB wasn't calling his own plays. You're
not that
wrong.
But that he like walked up to the coach is what I heard and was like, "You're not playing me like I'm supposed to be playing" or something like that. And then coach told him he was going in, and he's like, "Nah, I don't want to go in." Well, still like same premise, kind of.
No, this is Antonio Brown not playing.
That's what I'm saying. He's saying I'm not playing. Like, kind of like I call the plays. Like, I'm not playing. I do what I want.
That's so much different. That's so different. Martell is saying, I'm going to play this whole game, but I'm calling the plays. Antonio Brown said, I am not going to play. And Bruce Arians said, well, then get off the field. And he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
I find it somewhat similar.
Tough poll. We've talked way too much about Antonio Brown this episode. Yeah. Tough poll. It's not similar. The reporter goes up to Gene Hackman as he's walking off at halftime. She's like, what do you need in the second half? He goes, heart. She goes, I'm sorry? Like, she's confused. Yeah. Like, that doesn't make sense to her. Yeah. He goes, gotta have heart.
Miles and miles of heart.
She's like, can you clarify? Like, this is foreign to me. He says, miles and miles of heart. And Keanu Reeves is watching this on his boat. And now we're in the locker room. Martell's fighting with everybody. Clifford Franklin.
Yeah.
Gene Hackman. They're just fucking yelling. He's like, no one can beat Dallas with these losers. And then we hear from the side, I can. And we look over, and it's Keanu Reeves.
And Martell goes right next to the fucking stadium.
Yeah. Martell goes, hey, Shane, it's good to see you, bud. Now get the hell out of my locker room. And Falco goes, Coach? He says, what the hell took you so long? He says, traffic. He goes, suit up. Which he couldn't just play.
Yeah.
And then Martell goes, are you seriously doing this? He goes, Old Mustache will fire your ass. And then he's like, I'm gonna put a stop to this right now. And he starts walking out, and the Gruff gets in his way and goes, you big fairy. And he goes, are you serious? We really doing this? And he goes, this doesn't change anything, Falco. I'm an all-pro quarterback. I got 2 Super Bowl rings. You will never be anything more than a replacement player. And he goes, yeah, I can live with that.
Yeah.
And then Clifford Franklin goes, My brothers, will somebody please get this asshole out of here? And then they fucking grab Martell and throw him out of the locker room.
Yeah.
Second half, the team's going out onto the field, and again, John Madden says, Jimmy McGinty is anything but a conventional guy.
Yeah.
And then the crowd goes fucking crazy when they see Keanu Reeves coming out of the tunnel.
And where does he run straight to?
Straight to the head cheerleader.
That pussy.
She tries to coach him up. She's like, they're playing zone. I think you can pick them apart. And then he cuts her off and says, you look way prettier when you have something in your mouth. And then he makes out with her. And John Madden goes, he seems to be necking with that cheerleader. Yeah, that's what he's doing. Then the team's huddled up, and Hackman's telling them all. He's like, "This is the last game. The strike's gonna be over tomorrow. So this is your guys' last game.
It's your last fucking chance.
There is no tomorrow for you, and that makes you all very dangerous people." And they're all like, "Yeah!" And then the offense is out on the field, and the plays. Shane Falco goes, kick ass on one. Ready? Break! Which isn't a play. He says hike, and then they all just fuck up the Dallas player. Like they're throwing drop kicks, and they're just beating the shit out of them. Then
there's like 6 flags that fucking are thrown.
Bunch of penalties, and they get backed up to their own 1, and Bible running back gets a 99-yard touchdown.
Well, really quick, the game would be over. Like in real life, they were fucking fighting. Every single player.
Yeah, break it up. Players would get ejected for sure. The game wouldn't be over.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
I was at a Dolphins game where both benches completely cleared.
Really?
And Brian Flores, another reason why he's a fucking great coach, was like halfway across the field being held back. He was going to fuck up a player on the Cincinnati Bengals. Like, he was fucking ready. He had multiple people hold them back.
Brian, we need you.
Couple players got ejected for that. But
okay.
So yeah, the game doesn't get over. They figure out they go to New York, they figure out who the main culprits are.
Well, everyone that was starting replacement players would be gone.
Yeah, they get booted, but they figure it out.
Yeah.
Bible running back gets a 99-yard touchdown, but blows out his knee in the end zone. The guys hit him.
Yeah.
And he tells Keanu Reeves, I finally got that touchdown. Just finish what you started. And then the offense is starting to click. They're making plays and moving down the field and playing physical.
Oh, yeah.
Keanu Reeves, then they're all in the huddle. John Favreau, who is the linebacker, is in there. And Shane goes, hey, Danny, you feel like running the ball? And he goes, nah, better give it to Wilkinson, who is the safety and is also in there.
Yeah.
And then he goes, he's going to jail.
Like, I loved it. Like, come on, this is his last shot.
He's going to fucking prison after this. Let him run the ball.
Yeah.
And he goes, I'll clear the way. And Wilkinson goes, I'm right behind you. And they fucking fist bump. And he has like a nice run.
Which is cool, though, because it's supposed to be like the cop and the
prisoner,
felon or whatever.
Like, let's do this. We're brothers. They get down the field. And then they're in the huddle again. And Keanu goes, I wish I could say some inspirational shit right now, but that wouldn't really be our style. So pain heals, chicks dig scars, glory lasts forever.
Goddamn right.
Shotgun DC right flip, 90 dig, on the center, ready, break! And Clifford Franklin, he hits Clifford Franklin for a touchdown.
Fuck yeah.
17-14, they're down.
Clifford Franklin don't even know what he's capable of.
Oh, we're just beginning to scratch the surface on Clifford Franklin.
Oh, yeah.
The football is like a one-man cold for Clifford Franklin. Clifford Franklin, the only one catching it. Clifford Franklin, the only one coming down with it.
Yep.
The defense, they force a punt. They force a Dallas punt, and they're down 3. Wilkinson gets a good enough return, so it's only going to be a 32-yard field goal. And the Gruff gets out on the field and looks at the guys who he owes money to, and they're doing the stoner bashing time gesture.
I think it's funny that people that owe you money are going to take their time out to go and buy football tickets to go to the game.
You owe money.
Yeah. And then they're going to spend that time and money to go and stare you down in the stands.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Anyone who owes me money, that's how I handle it. I go to wherever they're working. And
create a bunch of pressure.
Yeah. Out on the field, he's freaking out. He's like, I had the money, but I pissed it all away at the fucking track again. And Keanu's like, what's going on, man? And he's like, I can't do this, Shane. He's like, they're going to take my pub away from me. It's all I got. And then they snap the ball, and Falco pulls it.
It's a fake.
They do a Charlie Brown thing. The Gruff flies in the air and falls and breaks his arm. Falco runs, and he's fucking breaking tackles, making people miss. Ends up in the end zone. Touchdown, Sentinels! There's a flag on the play. That fucking fat Japanese sumo wrestler gets called for holding.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. So it's the plays back. They can't kick it because the Gruff broke his arm and he's getting helped off. Hackman goes, all right, what's it going to be? And Falco goes, I want the ball.
And then he says,
Hackman smiles and says,
winners always do.
There we go. Jumbo apologizes, like, sorry, Shane. Sorry, everybody. Cameron's like, hey, it doesn't matter. Just kick their ass this time. And he goes, oh, consider it done. And then Falco goes, other than me, who wants the ball? And then Roy does some sign language. He's like, yeah, you want the ball, Brian. Well, let's hook up on this play. All right, guys. Like,
how did he hear that?
Like, so he's lip reading.
No, yeah.
But he goes, yeah, you want the ball, Brian. Let's hook up on this play.
Yeah.
Like, it's so fucking weirdly fabricated. Like it felt like a video game. He's like, well, let's hook up here.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, if you want the ball, we'll do it on this play. DC left Y motion 88 Warrior. Gentlemen, it's been an honor to share the field of battle with you today. It's on one. Ready? Break. Fucking off. Gentlemen, it's been an honor to share the field of battle with you today.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
What is this, The Patriot with Mel Gibson?
Like, and that's the thing, like, it got so weird. It wasn't this weird throughout the movie.
No, yeah.
And then Falco was just this weird fucking generic nonsense guy.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, I hated how they did all this at the end. Dallas does, so it's last play of the game, by the way.
Yeah.
And they're out of field goal range. They don't have a kicker. Dallas has nobody defending over the top.
Makes no sense.
Yeah, Roy gets one-on-one and just beats his guy.
What are they at, like the fucking midfield?
Yeah, like you fucking...
You play deep.
You fucking play at the end zone.
Yeah.
They're taking a shot at the end zone. You play
Madden
deep here.
would suggest that type of defense.
Absolutely.
10 out of 10 times.
Madden would be like, you just fucking play everyone deep here.
Yeah.
Back it off. But he doesn't, and he hits Roy for the touchdown. Sentinels win. They all celebrate. Keanu makes out with the cheerleader babe.
Fucking mustache dude is like, I fucking knew it.
I knew it. He goes, you beautiful son of a bitch. I knew you could do it.
Which is just lying.
Yeah, but whatever. He's got a fucking, he owns the team. Stephen Ross can fucking fire Brian Flores if he wants. He's allowed to say whatever the fuck he wants. He made $1 billion, and it was way more than $1 billion. He made billions of dollars and said, I want to buy a football team. He can do whatever the fuck he wants with it. I get it, Stephen Ross.
Yeah, I get it.
I disagree with you, but I get it. Keanu Reeves makes out with cheerleader babe. Hackman narrates the end, talking about how football isn't about money, it's about greatness, blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah.
And then I Will Survive starts playing, and the players are all dancing. And they're all dancing in the end zone.
Which is fucking awesome.
And that's the end.
If they didn't end it like that, it would have been a little hot. Like a sing-along dance thing. That's what I needed.
You would have been hot? You'd have been mad?
Yeah.
You would have been like, man, this was a perfect movie, and then they just fucking blew it at the end. But, you know what's a perfect movie that doesn't blow it at the end, Braden?
Oh, David, you can't always put me on the spot like that. SWAT?
What's the movie that you say, what's the running joke? What's maybe the only running joke that you're a vital part of on this fucking podcast?
David, I know.
What's the movie you always say? It's not the real movie we're going to do the next week.
I forget it, David.
It's the fucking Nutty Professor.
The Nutty Professor, bro.
Eddie Murphy delivers from start to finish. It is the perfect movie. But you know what else doesn't blow it at the end? SWAT. And that's the movie we're finally doing next week. I don't care who dies. Bob Saget dies. People are like, oh, you can do a Bob Saget movie? No, I'm not going to do a Bob Saget movie. So like, you can do Half-Baked. He was in Half-Baked. Dave Chappelle's funnier than I am.
Yeah.
I can't do a Dave Chappelle movie.
It's too much.
I'm not going to make Dave Chappelle funnier than Dave Chappelle is.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. We're doing SWAT no matter who dies.
No matter who the fuck dies.
We're finally
SWAT
doing
next
SWAT.
week.
And if you guys want to watch SWAT before the podcast, highly suggest it.
Highly.
Here's where you can. Amazon Prime Video. It says with subscription, but that normally means you have to rent it. Like, fuck Amazon Prime in most cases.
Yeah.
It's usually not free with a subscription.
That's how they get you.
It just says with subscription, but normally you have to rent it.
Yeah.
You can watch it on Vudu for $2.99, or you can spend $3.99 and watch it on YouTube or Apple TV.
Wow.
Yeah. Guys, SWAT, we're finally going to do this because listener, friend of the podcast, owner of his very own 5-6 Kings t-shirt,
Wow.
Brian Pearson. David Straley's supposed to have a 5-6 King t-shirt.
Yeah.
I gave it to Braden, who assured me. He's like, oh, dude, for sure, I'm going to see David Straley. I'll give him the shirt. Don't even worry about it. He's like, I'm definitely going to see him. And then I get here today, he's like, yeah, I didn't see David. He went to like a bachelor party, and then I was sick, and he didn't come home. So I didn't get it to him.
Yeah.
I was like, so you just have 2 shirts? He's like, yeah, but like I'll give it to him at some point. I was like, I made 8 shirts, and 2 of them are in your fucking possession. This is nonsense what you're saying to me right now. David Straley, I hope you get that shirt one day, bud.
Yeah, I'm going to mail it to him. Don't worry.
Yeah. No, you're not.
Yeah.
Don't lie.
I am.
Don't lie. Postal worker, you don't respect the post office. Postal worker showed up at your house, and they knocked on the door, and you're like, don't worry, it's just a fucking mailman. I was like, dude, pause the podcast and go see what they want.
Usually
They're
they just
knocking
drop
and
off the
stand.
package.
The person knocked and stood at the door. They were waiting to be
That's like
for someone to
99%
answer.
of the time, that's never the case.
I don't even know how we got. Oh, we're doing this because Brian Pearson suggested it.
Yeah.
And guys, if there's a specific movie you want us to do, Braden, how can they give us that information?
Oh, guys, well, you can email us at...
Do you not know our email? Why are you
I mean,
pointing
I
at me?
do. Usually you just start with you spell it out, and then I do the S kind of thing. And then I could do it if
So
you
you
want.
could you could say our email and then I'll spell it out.
Oh, yeah. It's 56kings@gmail.com.
That's FIVESIXKING.
S@gmail.com. And, or you can reach us at our Instagram, which is 56kings.
That's at FIVESIXKING.
S.
Guys, DM us on there. Braden at one point said, the first one, I was like, Braden, how can they tell us what they want to hear? He's like, oh, they can leave a comment on our YouTube page. Home Alone is the last thing we put on the YouTube page. And prior to that, it was like Summer Catch.
Yeah.
We don't stay up to date on the YouTube page. And also, I don't think Braden's ever read the comments on there. And he's like, they can comment on the YouTube page. That's a good way to do it, right? I was like, well, do you read those? I don't, you psycho.
Probably commented myself, like, really good podcast, guys.
Keep up the good work. Oh, I found out Brian Pearson is 5-6 Kings fanboy 69.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Found
Thank you,
that
Brian.
I saw him over the holidays. And he's like, so did you figure out I was 5-6 Kings fanboy? I was like, I had an idea of who it would be.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys. We kind of went on a tangent there. Follow us on Instagram, 5-6 Kings, FIVESIXKING.
S.
On Instagram. Let us know what movie you want to see us do next. But yeah, it's going to be SWAT next week. I'm excited to finally do it. It's been built up.
It has.
This is probably the most anticipated episode of the 5-6 Kings.
And that's what you get when you got Colin Farrell and Samuel L. Jackson working together.
Dude, I think Renner's in this, isn't it?
Jeremy Renner, he might be.
I think he's Colin Farrell's boy.
Yeah, you're right.
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure Jeremy Renner's in this.
This might have been in the start of his career.
It's fucking cast. They got Toretto's bitch.
Oh yeah, Toretto's
in Fast
bitch.
and the Furious.
Yep.
They pulled out all the stops here, guys. You're not going to want to miss this.
No.
But guys, thanks for listening. Hopefully, by the time we're talking to you guys about SWAT, the Dolphins have made a decision on the head coach, and it's not like, oh, they're just interviewing offensive coordinators around the league and trying to figure shit out. Hopefully it's like, oh no, Sean Payton is the head coach of the Miami Dolphins. And then I'll be like, all right, good call.
Nice.
Good call. They done good.
Yeah.
We'll see though, guys, but thank you for listening.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. We really appreciate all the support and the love and loyalty. Because, like, fuck other podcasts. There can only be one.
Fuck them all to death.
Yeah.
Fuck. Except for Locked On Dolphins with your host, Kyle Krabs. Guys, go leave him a 5-star review. Let him know the 5-6 King sent you and ask a Dolphins-related question. Ask about head coach candidates.
Yeah.
Since apparently that's something we got to fucking do this offseason. We got to get a new head coach for the Dolphins. Mm-hmm. You would have thought back-to-back winning seasons was good enough for Brian Flores, but I think it is Stephen Ross and his systemic racism.
Yep.
He couldn't have a black man as the head coach. You're going to be like, oh, he's got a black GM, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, whatever, all right? That's all semantics, all right? Yeah. Systemic racism in the Miami Dolphins is what kept Brian Flores down, and he's going to flourish somewhere else.
Yeah. And also, obviously, the 5-6 Kings is all about community, which means we need to find the perpetrator who is trying to change the area code to 728. That is blasphemy. It will always be 561.
It is fucking bullshit.
And I will find who you are.
It's the Palm Beach County Chamber of Commerce. No matter what, that's who it is. It's the Chamber of Commerce. I don't know what the Chamber of Commerce do. I have absolutely no idea.
They don't do anything besides try to change what is.
I have no idea what the job of a member of the Chamber of Commerce is, but I assume they're responsible for this, and that's who we need to bring down.
You're goddamn right.
It is 561. Until I'm done downtown West Palm, banana boom, bump, bump, boom. Guys, thank you for listening. I love you all very much.
Peace out.